Now, I hate to interrupt this very lovely song that we're listening to right now, but hi, everyone. We're here, we're live, we're gonna play PowerWash. PowerWash 2. 6, 7? Alright, hi, Rav. Oh. Very appropriate song, I think, for the season. It's Sheik's theme from Ocarina of Time. And if you guys didn't already know, remake for Ocarina of Time recently got announced. So I suppose it's appropriate that that Game Chops has been playing a lot of Ocarina music tonight. Anyway, we're here, we're live. We're gonna play some Power Wash Sim 2. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I don't remember where we left off last time, so I guess we'll find out here in a moment. First, I gotta turn off the music. Very good. That was a really good stopping point for that, I think. All right, let's see. Is everything gonna work tonight? Is it... Well, hang on. I have to make sure everything is going to work. There we go. That should do. Hi. All right, where did we leave off? I honestly just genuinely don't remember. Mini roller coaster. This one might take us a minute. It's 2,500. Okay, yeah, this one's gonna take a sec. I am really excited for the Star Wars pack. I think that's coming out fairly soon. You plan on doing the DLCs? I wasn't part of the charity incentive to do the DLCs. That being said, I probably will do the Star Wars one. At the very least. If I do the Adventure Time one, it's probably going to be off stream. Because believe it or not, I actually like playing video games off stream sometimes. I've been playing a lot of the new Yoshi game off stream. That one's been really cute. But if I'm gonna do any on stream, it'd probably be the Star Wars one, because you know I'm the resident Star Wars girly. All right, here we are. Here we are in the future. Okay. So mini roller coaster. Oh, oh yeah, this one's gonna take us a minute. Oh God. Well, no time like the present. God, that's loud. Forgot how loud that was. You know what? Maybe I will turn down the volume ever so slightly. Audio. Turn that down to 40. I think that should work. Better, better, better. At least for me. I don't know about you guys. Turns out audio mixing, quite difficult when you can't actually hear anything. Jimmy! Thank you for subbing. Well, well, well. Look what we have here. We haven't really made that much progress in the level yet. We literally just started, so welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for the sub, I appreciate it. Alright, there we go. Giving you my money is a pleasure. Well, you know, I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. That's really gonna help out with things like food and rent. I'm not saying I don't get paid well at my current job, but, like, it does help out, and so I do appreciate it. I also want you guys to take care of yourselves first before anything else. It's okay to be selfish, I promise. At least a little bit. People often say to me, "You've been doing this how long?" Don't you get bored? Wouldn't you rather be doing something else? My answer's always the same. She's not typing, so I don't think we're gonna get... Alright, my answer's always the same. Anyway, bye. Goodness gracious. Oh, I think this is the last little bit for this part right here. Please, God. Oh, I could have been hitting this with the green one the whole time. Okay. Here we go. So how goes the cleaning? Any closer to our combined goal of playing Symphony of the Night? Well, I just started this level, and we are this far right here, as you can see. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse. It doesn't look like you guys can see my mouse. That's fine. But yes, where this little orange bit right here is on that one, that's how much we've got done. And then the black part there is how much we have left. So we're making progress. I don't know that it's a lot of progress, but we are making an amount of progress. This game does tend to go by faster when I have people in multiplayer. which right at the moment I don't. So I do need to play Symphony of the Night at some point, though. Like, I should probably play it relatively soon-ish, I think. Maybe I'll make that one of my October games. Because I have plans to play, as part of a charity incentive, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. And I was planning that one for October. It'll be the first time I've actually played a Five Nights at Freddy's game since, like, the first one, like, 10 years ago. So I got a ranked game to finish, but I'll be checking in, listening. Oh, well, fair enough. Have fun. Good luck. What game are you playing, if you don't mind my asking? FNAF at Freddy's. Yeah. Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, no, I got gifted a copy of Security Breach by my girlfriend, and I was during the charity event back in December. I was like, it'd be really funny if I said I would play this as a charity incentive, and then we reached the goal, so I gotta play it. My very limited exposure to the Five Nights at Freddy's series comes from playing the game exactly one time, like the first game exactly one time, basically like right when it came out, like back in 2014, and then watching both of the movies. That is literally all I know about Five Nights at Freddy's. So that'll be uh, a hoot and a half, I would have to imagine, given that I know fuck all about the lore. You should do a lore deep dive. Oh god. No, I already hold so much lore in my head. I don't need to do it for Five Nights at Freddy's. Cuz I I don't know a lot of it offhand, but I do know that it is very complicated. I know that it's like Kingdom Hearts level amounts of lore, you know. I did get recommended a video in my YouTube feed recently that was uh like here are the different stages of decay that Michael Afton's body went through. And I was like, first of all, didn't know that the guy died. Second of all, what? The fuck? There we go. All I know is that he was in the second movie with his stupid yee ass haircut. Um, but yeah, no, I know very, very little about the lore TM. I try to avoid that. Like, I genuinely, like, for a long time tried to avoid the lore and everything, because I was like, I don't know, man. It seems, well, first of all, it's, like, not really my thing. Like, the whole concept of Five Nights at Freddy's is just not my dig, like, not my thing. Um, I got into the movies mostly because, we wanted to watch it with a bunch of friends, like the first one, and I had a good time with it. It's not like a great movie, but it's like fun. I went and saw the second one when it came out in theaters, and boy howdy, that was some atrocious dog shit. Again, really fun as a movie if you kind of just shut your brain off, but like as a film, that movie sucked ass, dude. It was the kind of thing where I was like, I feel like this is the perfect adaptation of these games. In not in that it sucks, but in that like they go way too hard on the lore and like things just don't make sense a lot of the time, and it could have been like better if they had just focused on like the core like draw of the series, which is haunted animatronic scary. But no, they were like, no, actually, here's Scott Cawthon's like view on the afterlife. I did kind of forget for a little bit that Scott Cawthon is like very Christian right up until they started talking about like all the kids going to heaven in the movie, and I was like, right, yeah, I forgot. What if I don't use soap? What if I just do this? Oh shit. A lot of there's stuff on the back too. Okay, that makes sense actually. Eh, there we go. Cool. Got the flower. All right, here we go. Check that shit. What other... Oh, there's more over here. That makes sense. Yeet. Okay, now I think if I get the back side of this... The coaster track is sort of in the way here. All right, and then... There we go. That part's done. We're at 6% already. I know that I'm gonna regret saying this, but like, we're at 6% already? We're only 20 minutes into the stream, and 10 minutes of that was just waiting for the stream to start? Like, I think we're doing all right. I'm gonna regret saying that here in a minute. I already know I am. There we go. There we go. Cool. Oop. Nice. Gonna get these lights. This lighting, fun fact, is an extremely useful tool in setting the mood in a themed attraction. So you want the lights to be immaculate. See if I can get a lot of what's on the floor here. Gonna say if I can just soap this all up. The nice thing is, when you do put soap down, it only sticks to the dirt. So it doesn't stick to, like, anything that's already clean. Which is mega handy. Keeps you from using more soap than you need, which I think is quite useful. Hello, Shen. Welcome in. We're cleaning up a roller coaster. And doing a mighty fine job of it, I must say. There it is. I feel good. Hit 1900 resets for Piplup? Fuck yeah. There we go. And then nothing down here. Just a little bit right back here. There it is. So, here's something that you guys should know about theme park rides is if you've ever been around any sort of dangerous piece of machinery, you'll probably be aware that everything has what's called an e-stop. That's short for emergency stop. Now, this button right here appears to be the start button for the ride, which is not how this would look. That would be like the e-stop. So, I guess pushing the big red button here is fine, but normally on a theme park attraction, you only push the big red button if things go horribly, horribly wrong. When I first got hired at Disney World, it was originally to be part of one of the attractions. I very quickly moved out of that because that shit was too stressful for me. But that's what I had gone to do originally. They put me on the rock and roller coaster. So I learned all about like what all the buttons do and everything. It's been a minute since I've done that. Like I'm talking years at this point. But there was a time where I knew what every single button on that control panel did. And let me tell you, that was insanely stressful, holding all of that knowledge in my head. One of the things that we were told to look out for when doing rides like that. Rock and Roller Coaster, if you don't know, has an over-the-shoulder restraint for the like seatbelt situation. Uh, so they have it where it's like it goes over your shoulder, kind of down around your torso, and then back up over your other shoulder, um, which is fine. Except that some kids and frankly some adults like to do this too. They will stick their hands through the middle part of it in a move that is quite literally just called Supermaning, because the way that your arms have to be able to fit through there makes it look like you're flying like Superman. Um, yeah, literally every train car that came to like the launch of the ride at the very start of it, you had to look out for that because if a kid is doing that and like they launch the ride like that, there's a very real chance that they will come out of the restraints. So, not great. And they did not make it faithful to reality, but only an expert, someone with experience, could point out the absence of verisimilitude. I don't know what that means. And you don't want people to suffer like that. Yeah. That's the thing though, is like I'm by no means an expert on running a theme park ride. I did it for about 2 weeks before I was like, I want out, please put me in merchandise. So I am by no means the final authority on this, but I do know enough to be like, that's not how that would look in real life. Verisimilitude is similar to reality truth. Okay. Hurts too much to even witness kids doing that thinking they're being clever. Yeah, it's not great. I've only ever seen it happen once, and fortunately my trainer was there and was able to point it out to me and was like, hey, watch out for this, don't let them do that. And then he went over the PA system and basically told the kid to quit it, and that we couldn't start the ride until like everyone was strapped in properly. So shout out to that kid for delaying everyone on that day 4 years ago. Um, yeah, I think I got all of those. Of course, it would also break some kind of agreement for him to tell the kid you could die. Yeah, exactly. No, you don't ever want to use the D word. That's not true. I've used that word, like the death word, a couple of times, but only when I'm joking about like other things outside of the actual attractions themselves. Um, I I once implied to a child that I killed a man. Um, uh, I want to be very clear on this. I did not. Um, it was 100% a joke. It was I was doing the lightsaber shop that day, and we were pretty slow, all things considered. So I my task was to basically go out with a lightsaber to the different parts of the land and be like, "Hey, you guys want to come build lightsabers?" Sort of thing. Um, but like the way I like to do it is I like to get it on my belt, kind of like a Jedi would actually wear a lightsaber around, when not in combat. Uh, and I ran into a group of kids, uh, and one of them noticed the lightsaber on my belt and asked if I was a real Jedi. And I, like, something in my brain clicked where, the scene in The Phantom Menace where Anakin asks Qui-Gon if he's a Jedi because he sees the lightsaber, and then Qui-Gon goes, well, maybe I killed a Jedi and took his lightsaber. Like, that sort of thing. I said that out loud to the kid because, like, that was just where my brain went. And then I very quickly realized what I had just said. And uh like turned to the parents. I'm like, I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. No, this is my lightsaber. You say that as a literal warning that would make people afraid and ruin Disney World's reputation. Yes, it would. Especially because there's that whole myth, and I'm okay with saying it's a myth because it's not true. The whole myth of nobody's ever died in a Disney park. The technically, legally speaking, that is true because anytime there is an incident that is severe enough where someone, um, you know, is someone dies like during a ride through or whatever, they will like basically take them to the hospital and declare them dead off property so that they technically didn't die in the park. Um, yeah, it's a whole thing. There are examples of people who a lot of them have had like pre-existing conditions that either they knew about and ignored or straight up just didn't know about at all. Um, that have unfortunately passed away as a result of going on theme park attractions, not just at smaller regional parks, but also at some of the bigger parks like Disney and Universal. And it sucks. It sucks every time it happens. But there are some people that just don't follow the rules or don't really understand the risks or straight up don't know that they have a pre-existing condition, and don't realize that, it would be a bad thing for them to go on the ride. Um, it doesn't happen that frequently, thank God, but like it happens enough to where I feel like more people should be aware. Hey, be careful when you're going on these rides. Like those safety warnings are there for a reason. How to put up 41 kills, 12 deaths, and 8 assists in Valorant with defensive character that turned that game into a win. I hate Valorant. It's a baby game. Yeah. And it's fair to say that that's not the park's fault. I agree. Yeah, exactly. There was a big controversy recently with Universal's new park, Epic Universe, and the ride Stardust Racers, because a person with a pre-existing medical condition that I think they were very well aware of, had gone on a looping, multiple inversion, dueling coaster and passed away because, it was a little too intense for them to handle. And uh, the family tried to sue the park over it, but like that person went on that very intense roller coaster knowing full well about their own medical condition. That's not the fault of the park staff. As much as I hate to say it, that is in, you know, to some extent, fault of the person themselves. Um, Not that I want to sound like I'm defending a big corporation or anything. I'm really not. But, like, it is not up to the park staff to ask every single person, hey, do you have any medical conditions that we should be aware of? Because that just, you know, that would scare a lot of people off. And that's not what they want. So what I'm saying is if you have a pre-existing medical condition that might mean that going on roller coasters is a bad thing for you, then maybe don't do that. Look, I hate it as much as anyone when people die, especially at a place that is meant to be fun and for joy, but at some point Darwin wins his award. Yeah, it's a brutal way of saying it. I'll agree with Shin though, but like that is true. It just sucks every time it happens because I don't want anyone to, you know, be even injured at a park like this, you know? I would not wish that on anyone. Oh, hi, Fallen. Anyway, getting off that subject, that very depressing and very sad subject. Where's Epic Universe? I'm interested in going now, not to die on a roller coaster, but because I haven't heard much about it. It's at the Universal Orlando Resort. Well, I say at. It's technically off the main property. It's like on its own separate bit of land, pretty close to the rest of the property. It's a very neat park. It feels a little incomplete because it only just opened last year. But it's got a lot of potential. I really enjoyed when I went. I have decided to have pity even when people are unwise, as if it was me, or even when people are evil. That's the thing, is, like, I do feel bad for all of those people that, you know, get injured or pass away due to going on a theme park ride. But, like, at the end of the day, you know. Anyway. But yeah, Epic Universe. Good park. Could use a little bit more. It's really neat. It's got 4 themed lands right at the moment, and then, like, the main hub area, which is its own sort of themed land, I guess. Um, that park has Super Nintendo World, which is like Mario and Donkey Kong. It's got uh, the Universal Monsters in an area called the Dark Universe, which is, I think, the most atmospheric land out of all of them. It's got the Wizarding World Ministry of Magic, which is my least favorite land. I'm sure you can probably guess why. Um, and then the last land that it has is the Isle of Berk from How to Train Your Dragon. Um, I quite like all of the lands except for Ministry of Magic. Harry Potter's just not my cup of tea. Um, I did feel a little bit like a traitor when I went in. I didn't even go on the ride over there. I just kind of went in just to look at the theming and everything. Very well themed land. I just don't like it. Uh, I just don't like Harry Potter. Um, but yeah, no, it's a good park. The Nintendo World has 3 rides. There's one that's like based on Mario Kart, one that's based on Yoshi's Island, and then one that's based on Donkey Kong Country. That one's a roller coaster. They made it look like the minecart levels from DKC, where like the cart will like jump the track. They have a really neat system to make it look like it's actually jumping the track. It's really cool. Um, we didn't get to go on that one when we went, unfortunately. The it sort of got rained out. Um, but I'm gonna go back at some point. I'm gonna go on that roller coaster. Uh, Dark Universe has 2 rides. There's Curse of the Werewolf, which is a roller coaster, and then there's uh, Monsters Unchained is the name of it. It's in Frankenstein's castle, and it's like a robot arm ride, like Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. But it's set in Frankenstein's castle in the catacombs of this place called Darkmoor. The town that the land is supposed to be is called Darkmoor. You know, ha ha ha. Um, but it takes place in the catacombs, and you like encounter all the different like classic Universal monsters like Dracula and the Wolfman and the creature from the Black Lagoon, and it's a really neat ride. We went on it 3 different times while we were there, partly because it had a pretty low wait, but also partly because like it's just a damn good ride. I think it is honestly the best ride in the park from what I've ridden. Um, uh, like I said, I didn't go on the Harry Potter ride. I've heard it's pretty good. I just don't care. But we did go into Isle of Berk, and they have a few rides there. A couple of them are like flat rides, like from like carnival stuff. But their signature ride there is called Hiccup's Wing Gliders, which is like a like a roller coaster. It's very cool. It's very cute. I really liked that one. Hi, Colleen. It was surprisingly fun that one time we poked holes in the Harry Potter narrative, just like when I pointed out, hey, Raiders of the Lost Ark is not how it would go down. Yeah. Oh, don't get me started. I will go on that rant again. I will go on the rant of Harry Potter sucks, actually. And people need to fucking get over it. Um, Raiders of the Lost Ark is a completely cool, fine, and absolutely perfect movie. Agreed. I don't get the argument that, like, Indy himself doesn't actually affect the plot. Oh my god, Colleen! Thank you for subscribing! There's been the argument for a long time that Indiana Jones doesn't actually like affect the plot of Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I disagree. Like, yeah, the Germans would have probably found the Ark, but like, he kind of expedited the process, you know. Actually, given everything that happens in that movie, I'm not sure they would have found the Ark without him.
Biodigital jazz, man.
Biodigital jazz man. Their faces still would have melted, TBH. Well, yeah, if they had found the Ark without him, their faces still would have melted. But, like, I'd also argue the plot of Raiders of the Lost Ark isn't necessarily about defeating the Nazis as much as it is about, like, hey guys, maybe we shouldn't mess with forces we can't control. And Indy is our POV character, and that's why it matters that he's there. I haven't seen the movie in a hot minute. It has been a minute for me, too. I gotta rewatch it. It's a good movie. I'm also begging everyone, even if you can't actually play the game, at least watch the cutscenes from Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, because it is so good. It is really good. I've said that, like, if we're counting Great Circle as an Indiana Jones movie, it's my third favorite. Because nothing's ever going to beat Raiders or Last Crusade for me, but it's very close to both of those. I like it more in my headcanon that Indy doesn't actually have any effect in the movies like the original trilogy. He's just a second-person perspective. Exactly. He is the audience stand-in, which is kind of crazy to think about, but, like, he is. He's the reason that we're seeing anything happen is because we are seeing everything from his perspective. And that's why it's okay that he doesn't actually affect things, because, he doesn't need to. And again, I'd argue that he actually does help find the Ark. Like, I don't think that the Nazis would have been smart enough to figure everything out on their own. Yes, I've been meaning to find a good playthrough of that. Oh, man, I should play it again. It's really good. Well, I said that if it was gonna melt their faces just to look, Indy and Marion weren't even gonna be with the Ark when it opened in the first place. Yeah, well, here's the thing though, is it's a movie, and there's got to be some kind of drama in there. I think it works on sort of a meta level more than like an actual plot level, because the whole time throughout the movie, Indy is very dismissive of sort of religion and, like, the supernatural aspects of the Ark. And it's, like, basically, he's been going through this whole movie being like, I don't believe in any of this, religious nonsense. I don't have time for this Christian nonsense. But he shows a little bit of faith in the Ark when he tells Marion to close her eyes. Because he's like, listen, even if I don't believe in this, there's still, like, the off chance that this could be real. And, like, that tiny little amount of faith saves his ass, right? It's like Jesus says in the Bible, even a man with the faith the size of a mustard seed is still good in my book. Yeah. The lid landing perfectly was so fun, yeah. Harrison saying we're all grown up now, to him makes me misty-eyed. Yeah. It's literally the Han moment. Jacob Geller made an amazing video about this. Yes! Please, God, watch Jacob Geller's video, Indiana Jones and the Objective Existence of God, because it's a really, really good video essay. Jacob Geller is, by the way, one of the better video essayists on YouTube. Like, his video recently, I think it's called All the Pixels in New York Are Freezing, was just fascinating. It's like a little time capsule of, like, how New York City has been depicted in video games, and he makes the point, it's like, yeah, New York shows up in a lot of games, and of course the Twin Towers are there throughout most of them, and then suddenly after 2001, the Twin Towers don't show up in any video games for a whole 5 years until a game that's set in the 70s explicitly puts them back in. And it's like, oh, it's really, really fascinating stuff. Jacob Geller, please watch his stuff if you don't already. He's a very good video essayist. Oh my god, I love Jacob Geller. I'd marry him on the spot. Understandable, TBH. I have a mini road trip tomorrow. Saves to video essay playlist. That one, the one that I got into from him I think the first video I saw from him was Every Zelda is the Darkest Zelda, um, which talks about, like, how, you know, everyone will tell you that, like, oh, Majora's Mask is the Darkest Zelda. No, Twilight Princess is the Darkest Zelda. No, if you really think about it, Wind Waker is the Darkest Zelda. Breath of the Wild is the Darkest Zelda because it takes place after an apocalypse. You know, it's like all this. And so um, like, thesis is basically, well, maybe Zelda's just, like, a much darker series than we give it credit for. You know? Uh, that and his Fear of Big Things Underwater essay is the one that really made me, like, become a fan of his. Fear of Cold is something I'll rewatch once a month. It's such a good fucking essay. Yes, it is. Fear of Cold, but like I said, I think if I had to pick, I'd say Fear of Big Things Underwater. That one's a really good one. Um, my favorite video essayist is Pop Culture Detective on YouTube. I'm not familiar. I'll have to look into that one. Actually, I did say Link literally kills hypnotized people in Twilight Princess. Yep. Don't forget. I'm with you in the dark. Don't forget that, in Twilight Princess, you literally meet the shade of the hero of time, who's like a zombified version of himself now, who goes, like, out of his way to, like, train, the hero of Twilight. And, like, the final move is like a killing blow. It's like, this ain't your daddy's Ocarina of Time, you know, kind of thing. Um, his video, The Adorable Misogyny of the Big Bang Theory, is absolute cinema. Ooh. Pretty much every Indiana Jones movie had some sort of divine happening except for Crystal Skull. And I haven't seen the fifth movie, so I don't know. Um, divine, no. Supernatural, definitely in both cases. Um, because in Crystal Skull you have, like, the extra dimensional aliens whose skulls are made of crystal, you know, and who, like, vaporize the Soviet, whatever her name was. I've forgotten. It's been a long time since I've seen Crystal Skull. Um, and then in Dial of Destiny you have time portals. I liked Dial of Destiny. I didn't think it was that bad of a movie. I also liked Crystal Skull more than I liked Temple of Doom, so, you know, if that says anything about my particular taste in films. Um, but yeah. Hi, Enigma. Thank you for lurking. I'll send you his YouTube page and Discord. Hell yeah. No, there was a part of me there, like, Jacob Geller put out his Indiana Jones video, like, while I was still, like, working my way through Great Circle, and he was like, at the start of the video, he's like, this video essay contains spoilers for Indiana Jones' Great Circle, and I was like, fuck, I have to actually wait to watch this video now, god damn it. I'm gonna go rewatch Fantasies of Nuremberg because that is one of my favorite essays ever, period. Not only written or spoken, or shown, just my favorite essay ever. Been a second since I've seen that one. The essay that got me hooked was The Fantastic Masculinity of Newt Scamander, and it is why I still have the tiniest soft spot for Fantastic Beasts. That is understandable. Um, I get that. I'm not gonna say I agree, but I get it. Um, if there's any movie that I can point to where I'm like, this is an example of positive masculinity, it's 2025's James Gunn's Superman. Um, that's gonna be my go-to movie for that. That movie was so good. Yeah! I'm really excited to see Supergirl. James Gunn keeping men gay since 2014. I think you mean since before 2014, my man. The only mark against the man that I can think of, and I don't even know that this was entirely his fault, is straight Velma in the live-action Scooby-Doo movies. I don't even know if that was necessarily his decision, though, so... He was gonna make her gay? Yeah, exactly, exactly. She was gay in our minds. I still think that she's at the very least bi in those movies. Now, Velma from Mystery Incorporated? Gay. I'm pretty sure one of the showrunners for Mystery Incorporated basically said, yeah, she ends up with hot dog water. Which, you know, if you've never seen Mystery Incorporated, sounds like a complete fucking nonsense sentence. But if you know, you know. The new Scamander video is 9 years old, so I bet if he had to redo it with another protag, he'd use James Gunn Superman. I would have to imagine, yeah. Because, like, oh, man. Superman in that movie is so good. I fucking love Superman, like, as a character. I really, really dig Superman as a character, and anyone who says that he's boring doesn't know the character. They just see that he's got, like, all of the powers and is like, oh, well, he'll never lose, so he's, like, boring. Now he gets his ass beat in the comics all the time. Mr. Ink was peak. I gotta rewatch it. Yeah, it's so good. Velma from Mystery Incorporated is one of my favorite examples of CC lesbians are real. I'll never forget how my little brother discovered that gay people exist, and it was 100% because of The Legend of Korra. Um, keep in mind that my brother is a full, like, 9 years younger than I am, right? So this was when I was still in high school, so he was in elementary school at the time. Um, if that. Yeah, no, he would have been in elementary back then. But yeah, we were watching the finale for The Legend of Korra, and he turned to me and was like, "Why are Korra and Asami holding hands?" And I told him, I was like, "Well, you know, some girls like other girls and some boys like other boys." And he goes, "Oh, okay." Great, good conversation. But that's how my younger brother discovered gay people exist. Oh, so he's only 75 years old since you pushed 90? Yeah, you're absolutely right. That comment's going to age well in about 60 years. My complaint wouldn't be that he's boring, even if he's consistently winning, but that's that it's not fair for no one else to matter most in a fight. That's the thing, though, is, like, very often, because he's Superman, he's usually the tank, right? Versus, you know, someone like Batman, who is sort of the brains of the operation, and, you know, like the Flash, who's able to handle, like, more delicate situations, you know, because of his super speed, or like Cyborg, who's more of a, like, a tech bro. Well, not tech bro in that regard, but, like, more of a techie kind of guy. So he's able to work with computers better and, like, that sort of thing. Um, so Superman's taken the majority of the physical beatings, whereas everyone else is sort of more specialized to other roles in the Justice League, which I quite like. Cyborg, because he's the black guy, was basically the 90s comments. That also is true. Oh, wait, he put this in the description of the new video. Since this video was made back in 2017, author J.K. Rowling has turned into a transphobic bigot. Don't be like her. Support trans people. Fuck yeah. Um, yeah, no, I think Superman is a very interesting character because he's the kind of guy where it's like, um, he doesn't necessarily want to have to be Superman. He wants to fit in with everyone else. His whole shtick is that Superman is a mask that Clark Kent wears, you know, versus someone like Batman, where Bruce Wayne is the mask that Batman wears, you know? Like, that's why I think those two characters work so well together, is because they are total foils for each other. Batman fights crime because he doesn't want anyone else to suffer the way that he's suffered, you know? Superman fights crime simply because it's the right thing to do, you know? And I think that's why they work so well as a pair. Is they might have different motivations, but they come to sort of the same conclusion. Where it's, if nobody else is going to protect these people, it might as well be me, since I have the capability to, you know? Alright, my match popped, I'll be lurking. Fair enough. It's okay, desirable in the story for everyone to die except Chief. Oh, and Halo, yeah. Superman also has super hearing and can't bear to know people suffer. Exactly. Um, and, like, what I really dig about James Gunn's Superman, and I'm not the first or only person to make this observation, but, like, there are so many tiny little decisions that were made with the character of Clark Kent in that movie that I just think are, like, really humanizing for him, which just adds to the whole thesis of that movie. Is like, yeah, biologically speaking, Clark Kent is an alien from the planet Krypton, but he is just as human as anyone else, you know? Like, I love the whole thing of, like, oh, you know, he is, like, kind of competitive with his coworkers at the Daily Planet in like a fun, friendly kind of way. Or he really likes breakfast for dinner, and you know, he likes, like, really bad pop punk, you know? All of these very, like, seemingly minor decisions that they did with the character that really, really highlight the fact that, yeah, Clark's human. He might be Kryptonian, but he's human, you know? David Cornsweet absolutely nailed the performance. Oh, yeah, absolutely. My Adventures with Superman is also like that. I need to sit down and watch My Adventures with Superman. I watched the first episode and really liked it, and then just never got around to watching the rest of the show. Hydrate? Yeah, right. It's honestly a shame Henry Cavill got done dirty on that version of Superman. I'm forever going to be mad for Henry Cavill. Not just for Superman, but also for Geralt. Like, because this is a guy that really, like, knows his stuff when it comes to these characters, and just got done so dirty when it comes to, like, the, like, writing and, you know, all of that. I still get mad when I think of the new season. Yeah. Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh Valley of Plenty. I know very little about Witcher, so I'm not the, like, right person to speak on that one, at least. But I know quite a bit about Superman, and let me tell you, as much as I, like, will say that I really respect Henry Cavill as, like, an actor and everything, um, I'm forever gonna be mad about that specific version of Superman. I'm not saying it was his fault, but I am gonna be mad for him anyway. I also just don't like the DCEU. I don't think Zack Snyder really understood those characters, outside of, oh, these are all the action figures I played with when I was a kid, you know? I hope he gets to cook with his Amazon project. Yeah. Like, Superman would rather himself die than another person, but can't save any human by dying. Yeah, exactly. My BFF and her dad legit stopped watching the show when the new season came out. They just rewatch Henry Cavill seasons. What I need to do, I think, at some point is just read the Witcher novels and, like, play the games. I have Witcher 3 on Steam. I've played a little bit of it. I just wasn't, like, super hooked by it. I think at the time I was just like, I don't know, this kind of just feels like Polish Skyrim. Um, Zack Snyder did some crazy damage to the DC heroes. Bro made me actually dislike Superman. Yeah, that's the thing, is, like, the way Zack Snyder did it was like, oh, Superman is a god amongst men, and, like, he's so angsty about that all the time. It's like, no, that's not even remotely what his character is. His character is, he wants to fit in and be human, but with his power set, he, you know, feels like he has the, you know, sort of the duty to protect other people, you know, protect those who can't protect themselves. It's what Uncle Ben says in Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. And Superman nails that to a T, you know? Zack Snyder is the grown-up equivalent of smashing your action figures together and grabbing a random one and saying, "But then this guy shows up." Whoa, that is pretty much how they handled Darkseid. Um, no build-up or anything. He just kind of shows up. At least, like, I'm not even going to speak that charitably about the MCU and its depiction of certain characters in that series, but like, at least with the MCU, like, Thanos is built up over the course of like 10 movies before he actually shows up, right? And like makes himself everyone's problem. He shot Jimmy Olsen in the first 15 minutes. Didn't even give him a name at first. Yeah. Meanwhile, you have Skylar Gisando's Jimmy Olsen, who is just got all of the riz, you know? And like, I get it. What sucks even more is that I liked the first Gal Gadot Wonder Woman movie, then it just fell apart. Yeah, I still don't think Gal Gadot was the right choice to play Wonder Woman, but like, that first movie was fine. I didn't hate it. It did feel a little bit like knock off the first Avenger, but like, it wasn't a terrible movie. It just sucks what happened after all of that, you know. It was so cool that the Spider-Man films show he's a kid with the casual use of the strength of a mythological demigod. He misuses that power entirely by accident. Yeah, as anyone would, right? Did you know Skylar Gisondo played Nick Daly in the Third Night at the Museum movie? I did know that, yeah. And look at him now. He's Jimmy Olsen, Superman's best friend. Um, oh God. I saw a tweet once where someone was like, "Hey, like my freshman year at Juilliard, my like campus like counselor or like campus like tour guide was David Cornsweet, and my first thought was, holy shit, they got Superman here, so I fucking called it, baby." I hold the first movie close to my heart because I realized I was bisexual seeing both Gal Gadot and Chris Pine, and now Gal Gadot sucks. Well, yeah. Which means Superman's power are greater than that of the demigods people in antiquity imagined. Yeah, well, that's the thing is like I get why Zack Snyder went with the whole like, oh, Superman is a god amongst men and must be feared kind of angle with it. I get why he did that. I still don't think it was the right move, but like I do understand like Superman basically is a god. Like in terms of like, you know, the classical like all-powerful deities. Bro's got every power under the sun. That was one thing I really thought was funny about James Gunn's Superman is like he still has all those powers, but he wears bright red underwear on the outside of his uniform and like tries to make himself as non-threatening as possible, you know, so that people don't fear him, which I think is cool. That yeah, our imagination went through the roof in the 1800s on. I mean, people have always had like a wide imagination. That's why we have all those myths in the first place. Me looking at Diana and Steve in the snow. Do I want to be Diana in this situation or Steve? Oh. No, I was like that with Peggy in the first Avenger, where I was like, oh, do I want to be her or do I want to be with her? Is she pretty? And also a badass. It's been a minute. Hi, Emma. Welcome in. Thank you for the raid the other day, by the way. Don't worry, I remembered. 2025 Superman literally just wants to examine life with his friends and enjoy the sweet tranquility of the world. Yeah, that's kind of the tragedy of Superman. Is like bro just wants to live a peaceful life, but all of these, you know, other people, you know, like Lex Luthor or Brainiac or, you know, all these other weird characters, like constantly cause havoc. And he's like, well, there's not really many other people that can stop him, and the rest of the Justice League is busy right at the moment. So I guess it's up to me. Imagine showing a 17th century British child Superman. Are you kidding? I think a 17th century, like, child, British child Superman. I think they would fucking love that, as any kid would. You got to remember, this is the thing that I always like to keep in mind is kids and humans in general, like, we're all the same. We might live in different time periods, but like I think a kid from the 1780s would really get a kick out of Superman in the same way that a kid from the 1980s would have, or a kid from today, like that sort of thing. Now, I think some characters you'd have to give a little bit of context for. I'm not sure a Victorian era child would quite understand the concept of Transformers, but like I feel like if they had the right context for it, they'd probably get a kick out of it. Oh, you're telling me that this is an automaton that transforms into a horseless carriage? And then Optimus Prime would be like, sentience is the right of all living beings. Or, like, freedom is the right of all sentient beings. And then they'd be like, wow, Optimus Prime. I've been watching a lot of movies outside. Oh, hell yeah. I've seen quite a few movies recently. The most recent movies I've seen were, at least in theaters, were Mandalorian and Grogu, Backrooms, The Amazing Digital Circus: The Last Act, and then I also watched one of the Bratz movies recently with my girlfriend, and let me tell you, that was something. I don't quite know how to describe it. Including Transformers. Fuck yeah, dude. I want to watch Transformers 1 again. That movie was so good. If you haven't seen it yet, please watch Transformers 1. Very, very good movie. There we go. Tonight I'm watching Solo, a Star Wars story. Oh, it's been a minute since I've seen Solo. It's not as bad as everyone said it was. I don't know that I'd say it's my favorite Star Wars movie, though. But, I don't know. It was kind of fun. I do think the guy that played Han in that movie kind of got shafted a little bit. I feel like he would have been really good if he continued in the role. And of course, Donald Glover as Lando is just, like, inspired casting. I have learned that unlimited freedom is not a good thing because it eventually infringes on the freedom of others. Even if I would voluntarily find a way to give my life a helpful purpose, you can do right in multiple ways and wrong in others. Yeah. I thought it was fine from what I remembered. Yeah. Freedom is subordinate to love, which is justice. Um, I do think that, you know, there do need to be, laws, and I do think there needs to be justice. But I also do think that, you know, maybe having everyone in a surveillance state is a bad thing, actually. There's a reason that George Orwell wrote that was like one of the major things about the nation in 1984. But I also love Amelia Clarke and would do anything for her. Also true. Hot take, I did not like the original trilogy of Star Wars. Interesting. Interesting. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm also not saying you're right. No, I can't say anything. I grew up on those movies, so I have a deep love for them. I also know that they are cheesy as fuck, dude. Um, like, that's the thing I think everyone, and I've gone on this rant multiple times. This is the thing that, like, gets me about Star Wars fans, is they don't seem to want to admit that they are fans of a series made for children. And as much as like Star Wars does say a lot about like, you know, the rise of fascism and, you know, rebelling against it and everything like that. Like, these are movies primarily made for kids, and I think a lot of people seem to forget that. I'm a big fan of the prequels. Also fair. I love the prequels to death. I think there's a lot more merit to them than people gave them credit for when they first came out. I also think that about the sequels too. Um, but again, I like Star Wars, so that's my hot take is the sequels are fine actually. I'm not necessarily saying that they're like great movies, but like they're better than people give them credit for. People just wanted to be mad more than anything, I think. But I was going to Tashi Station to pick up some power converters. Yeah, no, those original movies were very cheesy. My favorite Star Wars movie is Revenge of the Sith. That's based. That's a based opinion. Revenge of the Sith is very good. I mean, arguably the best of the prequels. And I'm saying that as someone who grew up on a very unhealthy diet of The Phantom Menace. We didn't have Attack of the Clones, and I just didn't watch Revenge of the Sith all that much. I think mine is A New Hope. Also good choice. But I can never pick a fave. That's also fair. Um, if I had to pick a favorite Star Wars movie, oh god. I'm gonna say for nostalgia reasons, Return of the Jedi. Um, so I know that's not everyone's favorite pick, and I know it's a lot of people's least favorite in the original trilogy, but I loved Return of the Jedi when I was a kid. And I still do. I still love that movie to death. Flaws and all. Um, I don't know. I like the Ewoks. I've never watched the sequels. I think you should give them a trot. Like, give them a shot. I will say, story-wise, they're not as good as the originals or the prequels. But, like, acting-wise, they're better than the prequels. um, so know your favorite Star Wars movie, but what's your favorite Star War? Actually, hold on. No, I'd have to think about this for a minute. Um, once again am going to say that I am a little biased in that my job is literally to be part of the like sequel trilogy. So I do have a little bit of a soft spot in that regard for the war between the First Order and the Resistance. Um, but mostly because it's my everyday life. Um, I'm gonna say the Clone Wars is my favorite. I know that's a basic bitch answer, but I'm gonna say the Clone Wars. I like Return of the Jedi and Revenge of the Sith tied maybe with The Empire Strikes Back for the best. The Empire Strikes Back is a very good movie. People fucking hated it when it first came out, but it is a very good movie. The Phantom Menace is my least favorite. That is understandable. I love The Phantom Menace. And I am also fully willing to criticize that movie to death for a lot of weird shit. Um, Not the least of which being all of the extremely racist caricatures in that movie. Um, like, Jesus Christ, George. Clone Wars is probably my favorite. Hell yeah. Oh, series I like Maul Shadow Lord and Kenobi literally as much as the best of the films. That's fair. I think Kenobi got a lot more hate than it deserved. That was a really neat show. I did not like Attack of the Clones. Also fair. That is my least favorite out of all of the Star Wars movies is Attack of the Clones. Um, and a lot of people will look at me like, "Really, you don't like Attack of the Clones? You like Attack of the Clones less than The Rise of Skywalker?" And I'm gonna be like, "Yes, I do like Attack of the Clones less than The Rise of Skywalker. It's a boring fucking movie." Uh, at least The Rise of Skywalker had Babu Frick in it. Like, come on. I like the Phantom Menace when I was younger, but now I look back on it, it is wow. Yeah, no, like I said, I'm fully willing to criticize that movie to death. I still really like it, but man, parts of it did not age well at all. Is it weird I think Attack of the Clones is my favorite prequel movie? Well, I wouldn't say it's weird necessarily. I would say I disagree with you. But I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and who am I to yuck your yum, you know? I'm skipping the animation shows of Star Wars. You're missing out. Um, Attack of the Clones didn't bore me, but it wasn't as cool and full of dramatic irony as Revenge of the Sith. Uh, yeah, well, yeah. Also, the battle droid with the Boston accent in Phantom Menace makes me laugh. Yeah, the Bostonian battle droid. I fucking love that guy. Um, um, but yeah, no, the animated Star Wars shows are, for the most part, pretty good. The first couple of seasons, really the first like season and a half of Clone Wars, not the best. Same thing with Rebels. First season and a half of that one is pretty rough. But like once you get past that, like those are some of the best bits of Star Wars. They really are. God, I fucking love Rebels. Um, I remember like when Rebels first came out, I kind of wrote it off as like, oh, it's just like knockoff Clone Wars because it was like right after Disney had bought Star Wars, and I was like buying a little bit into the whole like Disney hate for Star Wars. But then I actually sat down and watched the show, and it turned out it was quite good. Um, I just don't have time to watch Clone Wars right now. That is also fair. It's like 7 seasons long. Back when seasons were more than 8 episodes a piece. Um, I don't like the Clone Wars mainly for Colonel Yularen's narration. Jingoistic and makes it impossible to watch with people who aren't Star Wars fans. So the jingoism is the point of I will argue is the point of that narration. It is literally meant to be Republic propaganda. Like that's the idea of it. That's the reason it sounds jingoistic. It's because it is, and they did that on purpose. But also, they're supposed to be sort of a callback to the opening crawls to all of the movies. Like, you can read any of the opening crawls as, like, a Colonel Yularen opening narration, uh, and it works. I like the new Star Wars show. That would be Maul Shadow Lord. Maul Shadow Lord is very good. Maul Shadow Lord is so good. In terms of the live action stuff, my two favorites are Andor and Skeleton Crew. Those are two very different shows, though. Andor is like very adult, and like very serious in its subject matter and its storytelling and direction. Skeleton Crew is a fun, goofy, wacky Goonies in space adventure thing. Like it's also very good and has like some deep emotional like bits to it, but is very much the opposite of Andor in terms of like how seriously it takes itself sometimes. Can't say I remember no at and Skeleton Crew Nation. I miss you, Skeleton Crew. Come home, please. Yeah, same. Um, but yes, Andor is also very good. But yeah, very, very adult compared to a lot of other Star Wars projects. Like, there's an SA scene in season two, um, and it's haunting. It's a very haunting scene. Um, and honestly, I was like shocked. Like genuinely, my jaw was on the floor the first time I saw it. I was like, "Holy shit!" Out of all of the places I expected Star Wars to go, and even with as serious as Andor is as a show, I was not expecting anything even remotely related to that. Might watch Andor tonight because I stopped caring about watching the movies in chronological order. That's fair. All you need to know about Andor is it takes place before Rogue One, and Rogue One takes place before Episode 4. Also, I will tell you now, all of the episodes of Andor are like an hour long, and they are a lot, like in a good way. They are a lot. Um, in the sense that, like, the way I've described it is I don't smoke. I felt like I needed a cigarette after watching every episode of Andor. Um, I mean that in the best way possible, by the way. I don't mean that as like a point of criticism. I mean like genuinely like there's a lot to grapple with that series. Yeah, I saw that floating around on Twitter. I genuinely felt sick to my stomach. Yeah, no, it was the worst part is like I usually like to follow the rule of, hey, don't include that kind of thing in your story unless there's a reason for you to add it, because otherwise it's just unnecessarily, traumatizing for people who've actually gone through that sort of thing. Um, but they handled it very well, I thought, in Andor, because like the whole point of it, I guess mild spoilers for Andor season 2, is, and I'm glad I'm talking about this during ad break too, is Bix Colleen, Andor's Cassian Andor's sort of girlfriend, um, is sort of illegally hiding out on a planet that has just fallen under Imperial occupation. And an Imperial officer shows up to her house and is basically like, asking for ID, that sort of thing. And he does the whole rigmarole of like, um, oh, well, the Empire doesn't have to know about this, yada, 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 that sort of thing. And like, it's very fraught. Like, it is, oh, God, it's very intense to watch. But good news is that the bad guy doesn't do the bad thing, and Bix beats his head in with a fucking wrench. So um, I didn't like Andor just based on the entirety of the first episode. I can't say why I didn't like it here because it would be spoilers. I can see why people with opposite tastes like it. That's the thing, is Andor is a very dense show, and it starts very slow. It's the kind of thing where it is a very slow burn, and you have to give it time to sort of do its thing before it really hits hard. Like, I'd say if you can stomach it, at least watch the entirety of the first season. At the very minimum, I think that's like what everyone should watch. Season 2 is also very, very good, don't get me wrong, but is also quite intense, even more so than Season 1 is, as I have just described. That's not even the only heavy thing that happens in that season, too. It was because that season also shows us the Gorman Massacre, in which the Empire very violently suppresses an uprising on the people of the planet Gorman. It's really cool. God, I wish that were me. AKA beating his head in with a wrench. Yeah, exactly. I think Bix Colleen is a good role model. uh, it is sort of strange to me then. And I know that they released this before season 2 came out, but they did add a DLC to Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga with a bunch of Andor characters, and Bix is one of the characters in that pack. Um, Knowing what we know now about what happens to her, it kind of fucked up. Anyway, So where are we at now? An hour and a half, and I'm still not even halfway done with this level. I told you guys this one was going to take a minute. Oh, I'm out of soap. Okay, cool. I feel like if you're running an amusement park, you probably shouldn't let your signature ride get to this point in terms of dirtiness. You should probably power wash it every once in a while so it doesn't get this bad. Also, the actress for Bix is dating Jason Momoa. That's crazy, dog. That's gonna be my new crack ship is Bix Colleen and Lobo the Space Biker. Um, God, I can't wait for Supergirl. That movie looks like so much fun. Does Supergirl take place before or after Superman? I think it takes place after Superman? Question mark. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you, because the movie hasn't come out yet. I do know that it's gonna show Kara showing up to Earth for the first time. But that's it. Like, do I need to watch James Gunn's Superman to get context? I don't think so. Maybe just to know, like, what the deal is with the universe that we're in. But, like, James Gunn's Superman also kind of pops you right into the middle of the new universe as well, because, like, Superman is by no means the only superhero to show up in that movie. Like, fucking Guy Gardner shows up. Uh, you know, everyone's least favorite Green Lantern. Also, goddamn Mr. Terrific. I just wondering. I still plan on watching Superman, but I was wondering in what order. Superman is good. You should watch it. Do it right now. I wouldn't want to fight the Empire with force if I was in the galaxy unless some unusual impulse sees my ability to move and force me to live. I know they're wrong, and that also says a lot about real life, but I couldn't bring myself to raise my hand against the law of the land. Uh, the way I see things, both in real life, given the state of things currently in the United States of America, and also like my character that I play at work, is I kind of just like keep my head down and just try to get by as much as I can. I feel like living as myself is resistance enough to everything that's going on. You know, I'm a trans woman. I'm proud about it, and if anyone has an issue with it, then they can suck my dick. You know, um, but that's also kind of the character that I play when I'm at work. Is like, I don't know, man. I'm avoiding all the patrols and everything. I'm just gonna like kind of keep my head down and just do my job. You know, hell yeah, happy Pride. I don't like hurting people ever, even if it was literal Palpatine. Oh no, if it was Palpatine and I had the ability to, I would deck that guy in the face, right? Like this is the thing is I feel like um, I'm a non-violent person until you start hurting other people. I think this is why I like Superman so much is because like if you're hurting other people, then like I have to stop myself from hurting you. Um, but I don't know. That's just my way of seeing things. My philosophy is, hey, live your life in a way that makes you happy unless it harms you or other people, right? Like, if you're hurting yourself or other people, then I think, okay, maybe there needs to be an intervention here. But, like, I don't know. Besides that, whatever makes you happy, man. Who am I to judge? Okay. I don't know where I'd fit into the Star Wars universe. I don't know if I'd want to be a Jedi if I was Force sensitive. Um, that's fair. Uh, the character that I play at work is not sensitive to the Force, but like, does believe in all of that. It's like I've seen too many weird things to not believe in anything. Um, is the character I like to play, but like I'm just not spiritual enough to really tap into it myself. Because my philosophy when it comes to something like the Force is like I really like what they've done recently, where it's like, well, technically anyone can sense the Force. You just have to open yourself up to it. You know, if he really wanted to, Han could start moving things with his mind, but he doesn't really care all that much. So, like, what's the point? Versus someone like the character I like to play, which is like, yeah, I believe in all of that, but I don't have the time or energy to really to put into it. So, would be nice to have the Force. Would certainly help. But honestly, probably for the best that I don't have it, because I don't want to get detained by the First Order. I wouldn't argue with the authority over me, and I would be content with becoming their punching bag. I might fire off a few quips that this isn't right. Yeah, I wouldn't be content with that, because I would want to live a life without that. There we go. I don't know about the Force, man. Now please swipe your card. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know, man. I could be Force sensitive. I ain't got time for that shit. Um, it's like that one tweet where the person's like, "Yeah, man, I might be bi, but I don't like. I have a mortgage to take care of." Except in my case, it's I have to pay off my debt to Olga Guerra because she runs a fucking criminal syndicate on Black Spire Outpost. I might be non-binary or whatever, but I have a job. Yeah, exactly. That's the one I'm thinking of. I would be like Luke unarmed in the throne room and not regret it even if Vader did nothing. But imagine if the Force said, "That's enough," and gave Palpatine heart attacks no matter how many clones he had. Um, yeah. This is the other thing about the Force is it's a plot device, right? Like it is 100% a plot device. Um, the the reason it exists in the first place is because George Lucas was like, I need something to move the plot along. Um, but if you think about it, like in universe, like, oh, if we're saying that, okay, this is real history, this is everything that's really happened in this universe, um, the Force works in mysterious ways, sort of thing. Like, the Force has a will. People can work against it. The Force is still going to try to find balance somehow, right? Like, that's kind of sort of how it works. So, like, things can happen that the Force does not intend. Like, for example, Darth Plagueis figuring out the secrets to immortality. And then Palpatine, like, taking all of that knowledge and using it, right? So, but the Force will find a way to correct itself, or correct the balance of the universe. So, like, okay, you guys are gonna figure out the secret to immortality. Here, I'm gonna like create this random child out of nowhere, that's one day is gonna kick your ass. You know, um, Hi, Mel. How's it going? I'm probably force sensitive, but I have to pay my debt right now, so I don't care. Yeah, exactly. Better be on the good side of life so that when you expire, you aren't punished. That's the other thing, though, about the force in particular is it wants balance. You know, you can't have too much light because too much light is blinding, but you can't have too much darkness because, you know, you won't be able to see anything. You know, you gotta have a little bit of both. You could make the argument that Order 66 did bring a sense of balance to the Force, in that there were 10,000 Jedi and only 2 Sith, and then all of a sudden that number went down closer to about 100 Jedi and 2 Sith, give or take. Less than 100, really. Um, or if we're just paying attention to the movies, then it's, only 2 Jedi and 2 Sith. Going good, just got home from a family function. Hell yeah. I hope you're doing all right, Mel. Just saw a screenshot of a gas station with a review that says convenient gas station with a dark past. I can't stop laughing. Uh, convenient gas station with a dark past is just Dexter Jetster. Um, if the light side is not meant to be held purely, then the true good side does not equate to pure light. Yeah, that would be a matter of interpretation. Yeah, that's like the thing though, is like, uh, part of the reason the Jedi fall in the first place is, also, yeah, sorry, Mel, you're coming into a conversation about Star Wars. As per usual. Um, the reason the Jedi fell is because they became complacent. Um, you know, I saw someone put it where it's like, wow, the Jedi were not that great at war, huh? Well, no, because they didn't have to be, because for the longest time they were a liberal arts college that just happened to become warriors during a time of insane strife. I realized that by playing a defensive player, I cannot force a win. Yeah. Gas station with the dark past is Hondo's base. That's also true. No, no, I love it. Okay, good. I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoy when I talk about my hyperfixation. Liberal arts college. That's what the Jedi Temple was. Like, it was them, like, basically studying the Force and like trying to like attain spirituality or whatever. They didn't train to be warriors for a long time because they didn't need to be, because the galaxy was supposedly at peace for 1,000 years. Now, if you read the High Republic books, you also know that that's bullshit, and the Jedi knew that was bullshit. But like, there wasn't like a galaxy-wide conflict like the Clone Wars for like 1,000 years up to that point. So they didn't need to be warriors, you know? A liberal arts college is accurate because if you were a Jedi and you left the academy, you had nothing for the real world. Also true. I've never heard of someone describing it that way. I can't take credit for that. There was someone on Tumblr, I think, that said that. But like, it's a very good way of describing that. You know, it's like they very quickly had to go from that to full blown military force basically within the span of 6 months. Um, because all of a sudden, you've got the separatist crisis, which is a bunch of people wanting out of the Republic because they feel like it doesn't represent them anymore. Which, like, I get it. There's a reason that the opening crawl to Revenge of the Sith says there are heroes on both sides. Because as much as the Clone Wars TV show will tell you that, oh, well, the Separatist is the Sith side, and therefore they're bad and evil. Well, no. A lot of the actual text of the show, like, says people had genuine reasons for wanting to leave the Republic. Everything changed when the Separatists attacked. Yeah. The Republic literally becomes the Empire. I wouldn't go that far. They were still like a democracy to an extent. But like, the problem there is that a lot of the politicians in the Republic, they they stopped caring about the people of the galaxy and started caring more about like their positions of power, and only realized that they weren't actually the ones in control until it was too late, right? There was a really good comic recently uh, about Jar Jar, and he meets a Jedi named Kelleran Beck, who, if you know anything about those two characters, you know they're both played by Ahmed Best. So very funny. I think Ahmed Best wrote that comic actually, which makes it even funnier. But there's a bit where Jar Jar sort of comes to terms with the fact that he gave Palpatine the emergency powers that led him to creating like the situation they're in now. And there's just this really sad shot of Jar Jar with his head in his hands going, Misa did this. Clone Wars is not US military propaganda, but rather NATO propaganda. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Neon. I have to finish this movie by midnight. Best of luck. Without the interference from Sheev, the Separatists probably would have won if the Civil War even would have happened otherwise. That's the thing, though, is Palpatine kind of like forced the conflict to happen in the first place, right? Um, because you had Sifo Dyas, who was a Jedi who had a vision of a great war that was going to come up, and of course, you know, he went to the Jedi Council about it. Was like, "Hey, I had this really terrible vision. This is what it was." And all of the other members of the council were like, "Nah, you're a warmonger, dude. Get the hell out of here. We're gonna kick you out of the order." So Sifo Dyas goes off, commissions the clone army from the Kaminoans, you know, as sort of an insurance policy in case anything does go south. The Republic will have an army ready to go because they didn't up to that point, right? They were demilitarized. Um, but in so doing, created the perfect condition for Palpatine to kind of swoop in, take control over the whole operation, and then start the conflict that Sifo Dyas had predicted in the first place. So it was really a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. The only way to win is not to play. Um, Back to Lord Orc I go. Yeah. Palpatine and Dooku funded all of it and pretended to be on opposite sides. Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing too. Is Count Dooku was one of the richest men of the galaxy. He was the count of the planet Sereno, and was born into an like insane amount of wealth, and basically funded the Clone Wars on both sides. Really, I forgot Sifo Dyas. Yeah. Anyways, hi, pretty turn up. Hello, Neon. Also, Dooku had immaculate aura. That is also true, but that's what happens when you cast Christopher Lee to play a Sith Lord. You know, Christopher Lee tends to have that. Yeah, exactly. There we go. He didn't even need to farm it. No, he was born into incredible aura. Um, Christopher Lee is my Chuck Norris. Understandable, TBH. I mean, bro literally fought in World War II. Um, I saw a post once where someone was like, "I've never heard anyone have a bad word against Christopher Lee," and then someone else was like, "I'm pretty sure some German soldiers in World War II had a bad day when they met Christopher Lee." Um, Motherfucker fought both Anakin and Obi. Put Anakin on the defensive by attacking him. Meanwhile, he put Obi on the offensive. Yep. Did that. Also, not only did that, but when they met the second time, yeah, he died, but, like, for a while there, he managed to basically knock out Obi-Wan. Like, for the whole fight. Christopher Lee was the main inspiration for James motherfucking Bond. I believe that. I'm not even gonna look up to see if that's true, because, like, I can believe that. I was only able to get through half of Star Wars till I was like, nope, I'm done with chronological. Um, yeah, Anakin ended up having to awaken the power. The boy has the gift of rage. Are you telling me that Anakin Skywalker has the power of waking? Kingdom Hearts, reconnect. Um, I can't wait for them to announce Star Wars World for Kingdom Hearts 4, by the way. I have a feeling it's going to happen. I mean, if there was any, like, franchise currently owned by the Walt Disney Company that is, like, quite literally perfect for Kingdom Hearts, it's Star Wars. I just wonder if Obi ever got laid. That man had Riz. I wouldn't. I wouldn't say that that's out of the question. He and Satine Kryze definitely had a thing going for a little bit there. I second that. Imagine Sora fighting Vader. I think that is probably going to happen at some point in Kingdom Hearts 4. Like, there was like that initial teaser from a couple years back where they showed off like a foresty kind of area, and in one corner of one specific shot, you can kind of see what appears to be the bottom part of the foot of an ATST. I'm pretty sure we're going to Return of the Jedi in Kingdom Hearts 4. Sweats and Duchess Satine. Listen, you're right. Whatever you're about to say, you're right. We need Sora in the throne room with Luke. Sora flying an X-Wing? God, no. I mean, listen, people have already made their gummy ships look like X-Wings in the older games. What if Sora just straight up flies an X-Wing at this point? This is Red Leader standing by. This is Red 2 standing by. This is Red 5 standing by. Sora about to kill more actual people. Yeah. I believe Christopher Lee and Ian Fleming, James Bond's creator, were related, and Fleming based a lot of James Bond stories after Christopher Lee's military career. I would believe that. Ian Fleming, who was also quite involved in World War II, let us not forget. Um, if you guys have ever heard of Operation Mincemeat, one of my favorite stories from World War II. Basically, the premise is, this is a real thing that happened, by the way, is the Allied powers, like specifically Britain, were trying to pass off some fake information. Biodigital jazz man. Um, they were trying to pass off some fake information to the Nazis. So they set up this whole thing where they took a recently deceased corpse from like a morgue in London, um, loaded it up with a bunch of fake like identification to make it seem like he was a member of the British Army when he really wasn't, and fucking sent him out into the middle of the ocean to make it look like he had died at sea, hoping that, like, this was, I think near Spain, 'cause Spain was neutral during, technically neutral during World War II, but, like, kind of helped out the Nazis a little bit, um, you know, sort of on the down low. Um, so they made him, like, float out in the middle of the ocean near Spain. A Spanish fisherman picked him up and, like, reported it to the Nazis. Um, and the Nazis bought the bait and like went off to uh I don't remember where it was. I think they went off to Greece so that the British could invade Italy. I think is the order of operations there. Been a minute since I've looked into this, but it's that's what happened. Girl you wash in sand. True. Um It got turned into a musical, and I still haven't listened to it, but I hear it's pretty good. It's really popular on the West End, and it's transferring to Broadway. Hell yeah! But yes, Ian Fleming, the guy that created James Bond, was involved in Operation Mincemeat. Um, let us not forget that. I'm going to bed. The talk was amazing. Yeah, have a good night, Shin. Transferred, currently still running. Oh, cool. I'll have to look into that. But I believe the cast album is out. Fuck yeah. I'll need to look into that because I've never heard of it. Been watching a lot of Marvel here lately. I have not been. I have not been keeping up with Marvel at all recently. Um, Outside of, I think the last MCU adjacent thing that I saw was Fantastic Four. Um, and that's not even technically the same universe. So, like, I guess technically the last MCU thing I saw was Loki season 2? Question mark? Still haven't even seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet. Although I don't watch in timeline order. That is fair. That is fair. I think the last, like, Marvel thing that I saw that I really got into was X-Men 97. I also just have a soft spot for the X-Men. But 97 is really, really good. Rogue is hot, bit of a bitch, but hot. Yeah. I think Gambit would agree. The last Marvel thing I watched was maybe Spider-Man No Way Home. I remember, like, when I first saw No Way Home, I was really excited about it because I was like, it's all the boys back together. Or, well, I guess together for the first time. It's like, all the boys. I don't know. I think my opinion on No Way Home is kind of soured a little bit because it really is a bit of an idiot plot. Like, literally that movie only happens because both Peter and Strange are being massive idiots about everything. And, like, in Peter's case, I can kind of get it. But, like, come on, Strange, you're supposed to be smarter than this. I know you're still upset about not technically being the Sorcerer Supreme anymore, but, like, come on. That being said, it is really funny that on a technicality, Wong's the Sorcerer Supreme now. Spoiler warning, when my favorite superhero Iron Man died, I cried. I got spoiled on that before I went and saw Endgame from a fucking Splatoon 2 lobby. Someone had decided it would be really funny to name themselves Tony Dies. Gibbon and Rogue, my bisexuality can't handle it. True. You have two hands. No, when they added Gambit and Rogue to Rivals at, like, the same time, I was like, that's really cute. Because it was, like, a whole, like, wedding for the two of them. Gambit's my favorite X-Man. I love Gambit. I love Remy LeBeau. My pansexuality can handle anything. I'm so happy for you. Man, I wish I was, like... There's a part of me that I wish I was, like, pansexual. Because, like, there are so many hot people out there that I just am not attracted to. Like, in that way, you know? I joke about it, where I'm like, you know, I'm not into dudes, but... But, like, there's a part of me that I kind of wish I was pan to an extent, because then I wouldn't have to joke about it. Then I'd just be like, yeah, dude, they're fucking hot. And I wouldn't have to, like, qualify my statements all the time. Skill issue? True. Bit of an NSFW warning. I was invited to an RG a couple months ago, and I was so awkward. Eh. I mean... That's fair. It's like Neon says, no shame in trying. So no, my bisexuality cannot handle it. Fair enough. Oh, man. I was in a call recently with good buddy Devon from hit Twitch channel Real Deal Danger. and he was like showing off a couple of characters for a D&D thing that he DMs for, and like started the conversation with, Mel, you're into pretty women. You should take a look at some of these character designs. I was like, yeah. Oh, hang on. I got you. I got you. Let me do this real quick. I did mention him, so I am gonna give him the shout out. So I just can't believe the way he worded it. He was like, "You like pretty women. Here, check this out." Like, damn, you didn't have to call me out, man. Dude, I cannot handle pretty NPCs in D&D. Fair. Now that I think about it, I'm a bit of a hoe. Fuck it. That's what you would say. I might go inside and watch Solo. Fair enough. Here we go. Nice. Josiah and I started dating because our characters romanced each other in D&D. Oh, that's really sweet, actually. Anyway, I got engaged. Let's fucking go! Let's go! I feel like you would die looking at Zenla Zone Zero women. Well, I don't know that I would die. I'd probably come close. God damn, everyone in my chat is fucking engaged. I can't believe this. Dude, I got a random text from my mom recently. I really hope Ray's not watching this. I've already told her anyway, it's fine. But I got a random text from my mom recently where she was like, "Hey, just so you know, I still have my old engagement ring somewhere if you want it." It's like completely out of the blue. It's like, great. Good to know. Best part is, he's my high school sweetheart. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Are you gonna put a ring on her? I mean, at some point, yeah, I plan on it. I'm not telling anyone any of my plans because I know that I'm streaming this live over the internet and I don't need that shit out in the open. Partly because I don't need her seeing it so that it's still a surprise when it happens. Or who knows, she might propose to me first at this point. We'll see. My mother-in-law heard that Josiah was planning to propose and she gave him some rings that she's held onto. Yeah. All right, hear me out. All right, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. There we go. So now we're getting married. We're just keeping it engagement. That's fair. That's fair. I had a couple roommates that were like that. If your girlfriend proposes first, I'll shave my head bald. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. That's some real dedication, I think, actually. None of them were my taste, but I did thank her. Yeah. I'm talking bald. Holy shit. We're going full Lex Luthor here. And when I say Lex Luthor, I mean, like, just very specifically, Nicholas Hoult Lex Luthor. With wax and everything. Jesus Christ. That's on the internet forever now. Ray, if you're watching. Full Brazilian head for real. I can't believe this. Ray, get that ring now. If your girlfriend proposes first, I will remake Christmas Story in Lego stop motion. Holy shit. Well, that's gonna take a while. That's some real dedication right there. I'm saying this as someone who has definitely dabbled in stop motion before. That shit takes a minute to do. Hmm. I'm not making any promises. Propose whenever you're ready. That's also fair. I've done one film in stop motion. When I was in middle school, I think going on high school, I think I was just about to enter high school. Um, I had gone to this uh, like summer camp, quote unquote, at the local museum where they were hosting like basically like stop motion classes for like a week-long thing during the summer. None of those. I'm sure, like, if I really, really looked for them, I could probably find that DVD somewhere, but, like, I don't think I would even know where to start looking for them. Um, they were not good. It was basically just we improv'd, like, the whole thing in terms of, like, what we wanted to do and voicing the characters and everything. We didn't have a script or anything. We just kind of dubbed it, like, real-time dubbed it on the fly. If I remember correctly, keep in mind I was in middle school at the time, and I'm talking like this was like 14, like 13, 14 years ago. Um, at this point, uh, the premise of it was like we made a bunch of little clay figures of different video game characters that we liked, and we had them all go into Minecraft world, and they were trying to get back to their own respective games. Um, and Yeah, I think at one point I voiced Princess Rosalina. I really honestly don't remember much else from that. I remember I still had the clay models that we had made, or like a couple of them that we had made for like a while afterwards. I think I had like kept one of the Goombas that we made, something like that. But yes, that was me dabbling in stop motion when I was a kid. Um, you voiced Rosalina? Yeah. The closet was glass, Mel. Yes, I know. We also didn't have any girls on our team at the time because it was just me and I wasn't out yet. Now, that being said, I'm pretty sure I did actually volunteer to voice Rosalina, so that one might have been on me. I feel like the signs were there all along, really. Don't worry, I always wanted to be the guy character. That's fair. You could have been Steve. Minecraft Steve. Because I'm pretty sure we made him as a clay figure, too. Um, I'm trying to remember like what all characters we made. I think we did because it was a lot of Nintendo characters. So I think we did like Mario, Rosalina, Link. I think Kirby might have been one of them. And then yeah, like Minecraft Steve. I think we made a chicken at one point too. Or the genderless blob. Hell yeah. Oh no, we didn't make a chicken. No, one of the plot points of it was like Rosalina knew everything about the Minecraft world because she had learned it all from a chicken. I think was like one of the jokes we had dubbed in, where it was like, yes, you must find your way and defeat the Ender Dragon or whatever. I don't actually remember what the end goal was, but it was like that kind of thing where it's like, How do you know all this? A chicken told me. There will be brawlers quaking. I'm telling you, man. Listen, I might not have been funny in middle school, but I definitely thought I was. No, it was a really cool little workshop that we did though, because it was like a week long, and when it was all said and done, we got everyone in like the big auditorium to like watch all of the kids' stop motion videos. It was really neat. But because the museum is relatively the museum that this was at was relatively small, basically anytime anyone had to record any audio for it, we all basically had to like leave the room so that they could get some clean audio done. So we basically waited to do all of the voice acting for it, like right at the very end, so that everyone was already done with all their animation. Alas, I was not funny, just quiet. I was always the kind of person where like I wasn't the class clown, so to speak. I very much wasn't. But like I was always the kind of person that would like try to get people to laugh, like at least a little, like get a nice little chuckle out of people. Why do you think I Twitch stream now? Why do you think I Twitch stream but also don't really like mind like having a small tight knit community? So I'm not the class clown, but like I wanna entertain people. It's one of those things like when I was a kid and people always ask me like what do you want to be when you grow up? And for a long time I wanted to be a game developer, but like I wanted to be like at least in the entertainment business somehow. Cuz I always just kind of figured that was like my whole purpose in life was to entertain, to make people smile. I don't know. It's one of those weird things where it's like when you're a kid you like have this sort of thing you want to do with your life. And I feel like I've at least accomplished a little bit of that. It's definitely not the class clown, but I think I've gotten funnier since I got medicated. That usually helps, yeah. Because it's given me confidence to actually say funny things. That's part of it is confidence. Um, of course, I say that, and I'm like a nervous wreck. I'm held together with duct tape sometimes, but like, if you don't put yourself out there, nothing's gonna happen. There you are. Can I please put down the ladder literally anywhere? Thank you. Goodness gracious. Sorry, my phone died. Hey, no worries. Also, getting an autism diagnosis help understand some stuff so that I can process it and move on. Yeah, it does help. Um, that's the thing is like usually like especially today where it's like oh yeah everyone's got autism now I guess whatever. It's not actually true. A lot of people will say they have autism and don't really. They just kind of co-opt it a little bit. But like um but now that there is more sort of an awareness for and of autism, um it's a lot easier to get a diagnosis nowadays, I think. And that really does help when it comes to, like, processing it. It's like just having that confirmation of, okay, I do have this. How am I going to deal with it? You know, not deal with it. That feels like a bad way to say it. But, like, how am I going to, you know, process this? Me? That was autism? Oh, no. Anyway. Yeah. I will not say too much on this because it's sort of a personal thing, but, like, someone I know, uh, like, is very much on the spectrum and, like, uh, had not come to terms with it until fairly recently, and is really struggling with it. Like I said, I will not say too much about that because it's a fairly personal thing, but, like, I'm given at least the barest minimum context to say that, yeah, no, the sooner you, like, get that diagnosis and the sooner you get that confirmation of, oh, that's what that is, the easier it is, I think, to process the whole thing. There we go. You like jazz? Yeah, I do actually. I like a lot of different kinds of music. You know? Of course, I was born into a family of musicians, so, like, music is a very special thing for me. You know, it's like, oh, you know, one of the fundamental forms of human expression, you know? No big deal or anything. But yeah, no, jazz is good. I think it gets a lot of flack from people who don't understand it, and also people who are racist. You know, because jazz is a very black form of music, and, like, I think that gives it a lot of merit. You know, it's sort of, like I said, music is a form of expression, and, like, jazz was born out of a want and desire for that, and I think there's something beautiful in that. Took me a good month or two to really rewind my whole life and think about situations that happened and just thinking, oh, so that's why that happened. Yeah. I need to find a copy of the B movie at Goodwill. I'm so glad I went on this whole little rant about, like, um music and why I like jazz specifically, and you're like, oh, right, no, B movie reference. I forgore. My bad. Jerry Seinfeld. Is there a B movie video game? There is. It's on the Xbox 360 and it sucks ass. From what I've heard, I've not actually played it myself. It's also on PS2. Yeah. Um, yeah, no, because that was at the time that, like, a lot of movies were getting, like, tie-in video games. Um, as opposed to nowadays where that very, very rarely happens. And if movies do get, like, a tie-in video game, it's not actually a tie-in to the movie itself, more than it is, like, um, a video game that takes place in the same universe as a movie, a la the Star Wars Jedi games or Great Circle or stuff like that, you know, versus something that is a full-on, like, tie-in video game like Lego Star Wars, you know, or B movie for the Xbox 360. There we go. Maybe I should play that game on stream at some point, is B movie. because Over the Hedge went over so well. Uh, I still need to finish Over the Hedge. I know I still need to finish Over the Hedge. I know. I just haven't gotten around to it. I've been too busy playing other games. I mean, the last game I can think of that is a tie-in is Lego Movie 2. Yeah. I really can't think of anything, like, I guess Skywalker Saga, but, like, if we're not counting that one, then, like, I really can't think of, like, the last big movie tie-in game, you know? Because even with something like Lego Batman, it's, like, got a lot of nods to the different Batman movies, but is its own original story loosely based on the different Batman movies, as opposed to a straight retelling of them, you know? But, like, the Lego games might be the last holdout for movie tie-in games, which is kind of crazy to think about, right? I need to play the new Lego Batman game. It's so good. I have 100%ed and platinum trophied that game. It's so much fun. Although I don't think it can beat my favorite Lego game. What is your favorite Lego game, Emma? Now I'm curious. I must know. My favorite Lego game is Lego Island 3 Extreme Sports for the PlayStation 2. It's a real video game. I'm not making that up. Lego City Undercover, that is a banger-ass game. Legit, honestly, the best Grand Theft Auto game ever made was Lego City Undercover. I'm not even shitting you. The real question is, when are you going to play Baldur's Gate 3? As soon as I get a new computer. I promise I will play Baldur's Gate. I just need something that can actually... I guess I could get it on PlayStation, I suppose. You know what? I don't have an excuse, actually. You're so right. I need to play Baldur's Gate. Play Lego Hobbit on stream? No, never. I refuse to. I did that once years ago when I was first starting out streaming, and not only did my game crash multiple times, I just wasn't having fun with that game at all. It is my least favorite Lego game. Also, I just don't like the Hobbit movies very much. You should get Rogue Trader. I don't think I've ever heard of that one. I need to show you my video game husband. Wow, was I unlucky? Listen, first of all, just don't like the Hobbit movies that much to begin with. Um, there's a lot to dislike about those movies, and, but the other thing, too, is I just don't like that game, man. No, I think what I should do at some point is play Lego Dimensions, the Toys to Life game. I would need to pull out my old Lego Dimensions set out of somewhere. I think it's at my mom's place still, actually. But, like, I got really into that one. I collected a lot of the sets for it. Because that was, like, the only Toys to Life game that ever really made sense to me, was Lego Dimensions. Because it's like, yeah, Lego's already a toy brand. And you get these little tiny, like, Lego sets to go along with the different, you know, character packs and everything. It's really cool. Plus, it's also the only time we've ever gotten an official Lego Portal anything. And Portal 2 is, like, my favorite video game ever. So, of course I was going to be down for that. Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, I do like that one. That one's fun. Okay, play Lego Marvel Superheroes. I also quite like the original Lego Marvel. I'm still a little miffed about Lego Marvel 2 being oops all MCU adjacent, because they were like, oh, we need everything to tie into the MCU right now, so no Fantastic Four, no X-Men, because Disney didn't own the rights to them at that point. Um, but the Lego Marvel 1, that one did have, like, X-Men, Fantastic Four. It had Deadpool in it, if I'm not mistaken, which is fucking crazy for a Lego game. In Lego Marvel 2, they had to get rid of Deadpool because X-Men. So instead they had Gwenpool, which I don't necessarily hate that choice, but like they literally referenced the fact that they couldn't put Deadpool in the game, um, which kind of feels like garbage. I'm gonna go get a shower later. Turn up. Have a good night, Emma. Get a good shower. Get some good rest. But yes, I like Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. It's the only thing that has ever made me actually genuinely enjoy On Stranger Tides. It's fine. It's a fine movie. I don't really care all that much. If I'm gonna watch any Pirates movies, it's gonna be the trilogy. But I have 100% of that game. I've actually 100%ed quite a few Lego games. I had a phase for a little while there where I was trying to 100% as many of them as I could. It was basically like every one that I had on Steam. I don't think I ever did all of them, but if slash when you do play Baldur's Gate 3, I would like to request being there on stream. Fuck yeah. Oh god. We're getting to the point in this level now where it's going to be a lot of little details and a lot of little nooks and crannies and everything. And it's going to start slowing me down a little bit. I know it's going to start slowing me down a little bit because we're at 78%. We've been here for 2.5 years. This might be another one of those single level streams, unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it. Unless the next one is really short, in which case we could probably do that. I think, well, no, because we unlocked the next one earlier, I think I saw. Never mind. This might be a single level stream. I want to see all your reactions to certain things. I don't know how much of the game you've seen. I've seen, like, bits and pieces of Baldur's Gate, but, like, nothing story-wise. So it's all stuff like, oh, what happens if you kill one of the characters and then resurrect them or whatever? And he, like, gets pissed at you. You know, because he's like, damn, that really stung. Why'd you do that? Was it Gil or Asterion? I think it was Asterion. He looked vaguely vampire-ish. He looked like the guy on the box art, so I'm pretty sure it was Asterion. Yep, Asterion has a white hair. Yeah, it was probably him then. Oh, no, that's really cool. Just not letting me be able to put the fucking ladder down anywhere. It's really cool. Love Neil Newbin's performance. Such a nice guy IRL too. One of the best celebrity interactions I've ever had. Yeah, I'm still forever gonna be mad that he got cut off at the Game Awards that one time. Um, yeah, was not a good look for good old Jeff. There we go. But I believe he said what he wanted to say in full on one of his streams. Hell yeah. What kills me is like normally I'd be like, well, like to an extent, I can kind of see why they would want to cut him off from say like talking about that sort of stuff. You know, because it's kind of a lot for a video game show, and it like I do understand at least like the mindset of like, hey, maybe this isn't the best place to say this, but also like, no, it is actually the perfect place to say it. First of all, and second of all, why are you going to get mad at him for talking about all of that and then not get mad at the guys who made Disco Elysium for saying thanks to Marx and Engels for the political commentary? Um, I don't know. Seems like they want to pick and choose their battles on that one, and just seems really, really stupid that they would want to cut him off. There we go. Uh, what pains me is that Asterion storyline is very much a metaphor for SA, and Neil himself is an SA survivor too. Yeah, exactly. So that's like the thing is I don't get why they would want to. I mean, like I get why they wouldn't want him to talk about it directly on stage, and also they only have so much time to get through everything. But you know, like half of it is ads anyway, so what's the fucking point? This is the thing is like I tune into the Game Awards every year, not because I'm actually expecting to have a good time, but mostly because I'm just there to watch the shit show at that point. I think a lot of these award shows. This is gonna be like this is gonna be my hot take for a minute. I'm gonna go into a classic turnip rant TM. Um, I think a lot of like these entertainment award shows, are fucking scams, and maybe not scams. Maybe that's not the right word, but like I don't think there's any real merit to a lot of them. For the Game Awards specifically, it's like a lot of it is just ads. I mean, this past Game Awards is a really good example of that. The fact that they ended on fucking High Guard, a game that died 2 weeks after it came out, you know? Keep in mind that the last Game Awards was, at time of stream, 6 months ago. And High Guard has already come and gone. That was the last trailer of that show. Because they were hyping it up to be like the next big evolution of online live service shooters or whatever. And then it turned out, no, it was just kind of mid and like nobody played it. So they fucking shut it down after like a week. You know? Angry/ranting Mel, call that a steamed turnip. I am a steamed turnip, alright? I'm gonna rant about this. The Game Awards is basically nothing more than AAA like circle jerking. Like, yeah, they have like the indie awards and everything, but they always get the. Have you ever noticed they always get the indie games out of the way first during the pre-show, and then like they save all of the big AAA games for the real show. You know, it's a big circle jerk for the AAA industry. Is really what the Game Awards is, and it sucks. It sucks, and I hate it. But I tune in every year mostly because the Muppets are there, and there are sometimes like trailers that I want to see, you know, like I don't ever really tune in for the awards at this point, which sucks because I feel like that's the whole point of the award show, is to celebrate the achievements of the industry, and yet half of the time it goes to whoever fucking paid the most, you know? I'm mad. Having a big final reveal being another generic shooter is insane. Highguard was DOA. Exactly. Highguard was not only dead on arrival, Highguard was dead before arrival. Let's be real. That and the Game Awards has just been a 3-hour-long ad fest with some recognition in between. I really only want to watch for the orchestra. The orchestra is really good. I will say this. The Game Awards orchestra is always good, and I fucking love Flute Guy, alright? Flute Guy is the fucking best thing to come out of the Game Awards. Dispatch also lost to a fucking gotcha. Yeah, that's the fucking wild thing, is you know why so many people voted for the gotcha game? Is because the game literally bribed them to vote for them in the Game Awards. Literally bribed them. They were like, oh, get 100 free pulls or whatever the fuck if you vote for us. Now, this rant is going to extend beyond the Game Awards for a second. I also think the Oscars are a fucking scam. And for a long time, I have sort of, like, had this notion in the back of my mind that a lot of the people, like, that are part of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, like, don't actually really watch a lot of the movies they vote on. They just vote on them because of name recognition. I had sort of this, like, feeling in the back of my mind that that was the case, but never really any real evidence for it. Until they made a rule saying that they had to do that, which implies that they haven't been, right? They just haven't been watching the movies that they voted for. Isn't that fucking wild? Your whole job is to watch movies, and you haven't been doing that. Motherfucker, I watch movies for fun. I choose to watch movies to have a good time, and that's literally your whole job, and you don't do it? Question mark? No wonder, like, fucking, like, there was a long time where the only animation awards would go to Disney, because, like, that was the only name that a lot of these people recognized when it came to animation. I'm glad that part's been changing at least, but, like, come the fuck on, dude. I'm like 90% sure the Oscars is to flood out all the poor people news with celebrity gossip for like 4 weeks. That's also true. Um, or if not true, I wouldn't not believe that, you know. The other the other thing that I think about the Oscars is like I really don't think that a lot of people who are part of the Academy actually like movies all that much. I think they just want to appear smart and cultured. My main evidence for this is the 2007 Oscars. I'm forever going to be mad that Crash, of all movies, a movie that everyone has pretty much forgotten about at this point, beat Brokeback Mountain? It's like Reddit if Reddit paid. Exactly. It's like Reddit if Reddit Gold was real. Um, Heavy on the Disney part, yeah. I blame homophobia for the 2007 Oscars personally. Oh, no, there's that for sure. And, like, you can say yeah with the benefit of hindsight, but, like, Crash is a movie, like, about racism that doesn't really explore why racism is a bad thing. Anyway, it beat Brokeback Mountain. So, you know, that's cool. I'm also gonna say the fact that like that Ralph Breaks the Internet was even in the running at all the same year that Into the Spider-Verse came out. Not even to mention all of the other animated movies that came out in 2018, but like fucking Ralph Breaks the Internet was on the list. And that wasn't a particularly bad year for animation, is what I'm saying. But the Academy also sees animation as strictly a kids thing and doesn't actually take it seriously as a medium. And this has been true for a long time, you know? Crash was 2004, not 2007, by the way. Was it 2004? Whenever those two movies came out, why am I thinking 2007? What came out in 2007? I don't remember. Or 2006, I guess it would have been. I don't know what I'm thinking of. 2067. All right, sure. Now, I will say that part of it is the studio's fault and all those for-year consideration campaigns. You know, um, I will never not laugh at the 2019, or well, I guess it would have been 2020 Oscars, where Universal Pictures legitimately tried to do a for-year consideration campaign for Cats. They really tried. 2007 was No Country for Old Men for Best Pick. My bad. 2005 Oscars was Crash. Yeah, so it's like whatever year the movie came out, it's eligible for like the next year's Oscars. Basically, is usually the way it goes, depending on when it comes out. I think like movies that come out in December technically aren't eligible or some weird shit. I don't remember exactly what the rules are, but it's like not quite lined up with the right year, so to speak. It's a whole thing. Anyway, but yeah, and again, I say like you look at the animation side specifically, for 2000. Well, it would have been the 2005 Oscars, I think. Um, Shark Tale and Shrek 4 were both in the running. And again, I think the fact that Shark Tale was even nominated for an Academy Award um, says a lot about the Academy. Uh, again, it's not one of those things where I'm like, I'm gonna yuck your yum or whatever, but like, man, they really nominated Shark Tale, huh? In a year again that was not bad for animation because that was the same year as Shrek 2 and The Incredibles. Thankfully, The Incredibles won that year. Yeah, exactly. We really did dodge a bullet, but I'm saying the fact that like Shark Tale was even nominated in the first place really says a lot about how the Academy thinks about animation. Wouldn't it be funny if Shrek 2 won? It would have been really funny if Shrek 2 had won. Isn't it like to this day the only animated movie that has ever gotten nominated for Best Picture was like Beauty and the Beast? Because I don't think that's been broken recently, right? And again, not a bad movie. Definitely not undeserving of Best Picture. I think it lost to like Silence of the Lambs or something. But like, you know, I'm also still forever mad about the 1998 Oscars where uh, uh, Go the Distance from Hercules lost Best Original Song to My Heart Will Go On from Titanic. Um, Now, that one is 100% me just being biased, but, you know, whatever. I can show a little bias as a treat. Why is this sign just Louis from Princess and the Frog? Yeah, Beauty and the Beast was in the running and Silence of the Lambs one, which, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, like, they're both good movies, again, is the thing, right? But, I don't know. I just want animation to be taken more seriously as a medium. God, not the RJ's dick one. I can't believe this. There we go. What? Alright, here we go. I Okay, sorry, I just like Sheila Later's alligator. Alright. 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 Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Nice. Up was also nominated for Best Picture at the 2009 Oscars. Okay. That one also makes sense. To be fair, the opening to Up is very Oscar bait. Like, it's really good, it's very emotional. Also, 100% intended to tug at your heartstrings in just the right way for the Academy to want to vote for it. Toy Story 3 was nominated in 2010. Interesting. I was under the impression that Beauty and the Beast was the only animated movie to ever get nominated for Best Picture. I guess I was misinformed on that. Now, none of them have still won, is the thing, right? I think it's the only 2D animated. That makes sense. Now, the funniest one to me is that, in terms of best animated feature, I think Spirited Away lost to Curse of the Were-Rabbit, which I will never not laugh at. How's Moving Castle lost to Were-Rabbit? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But yes, a Hayao Miyazaki film lost to fucking Wallace and Gromit, um, which I just think is so funny. Spirited Away won in 2002. That's right. That's what I was thinking of. I knew Spirited Away got nominated at minimum. But yeah, no, a Hayao Miyazaki movie lost Best Animated Feature to Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Which, to be fair, deserved. That movie's really good. But, like, also really, really funny that it beat a fucking Ghibli movie. It also beat out Corpse Bride, LMAO. Also fair. Listen, out of the two, I'd rather watch Curse of the Were-Rabbit. I'm not saying Corpse Bride is a bad movie. I'm just saying I always preferred Were-Rabbit over Corpse Bride as a kid. Corpse Bride, actually quite a good movie as well. It's also been a long time since I've seen it. Well, got the tree. Hot take, I preferred over Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, I get that. I prefer Nightmare Before Christmas personally. But I do get that. Nightmare is also a bit overplayed. As much as I love that movie, it is like it's everywhere. Okay. I think Nightmare Before Christmas is just very oversaturated in the world of merch slash fandom. That it is, yeah. That's what I mean when I say it's like overplayed. It's very everywhere. It's one of the few worlds in Kingdom Hearts that has been in multiple like mainline entries, right? I think it's that one and Little Mermaid are the only two. And I guess technically Tron, but like not really because Kingdom Hearts 2 was like the original Tron, and then Dream Drop was like Tron Legacy. And even then, if I'm talking mainline, I'm just talking 1, 2, and 3. I think Nightmare and Atlantica, so Nightmare and Little Mermaid are the only two to be featured in multiple consecutive games. If I'm not mistaken. It's also been a minute since I've played any of them. That's a lie. I played Kingdom Hearts 2 pretty recently. But like, pretty recently as in, like, within the last few months, and I don't really... It's not that I don't remember what worlds are in that game, it's like I can't be bothered to remember right at the moment. But yeah, there's like a running gag where like Sora and Jack remember each other from last time, and Jack's trying to take over Christmas, and Sora's like, I don't know that that's really a good idea. Do you have a favorite Tim Burton movie, even though Tim Burton didn't direct Nightmare Before Christmas? Um, Good question, actually. Probably Nightmare Before Christmas is the thing. Like, I've got a soft spot for the Tim Burton Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Um, But I do think the original is, like, better. More of a classic. I'll have a soft spot for that version, but, like, I don't know. I always kind of preferred the original. Um, and then... I don't know. Besides Nightmare, I'd say probably Batman. I also haven't seen, like, Edward Scissorhands or anything like that, so... Now, if we're talking, oh, what's his name? Who actually directed Nightmare? Oh, why am I pulling a blank on his name? Beetlejuice might be my fave. Beetlejuice is a good movie. Not the kind of movie that I think I would rewatch a lot, but I did enjoy it. Henry Selick, that's his name. Yes, Henry Selick. Why did I forget that? Oh my god, I feel awful now. But yes, Henry Selick. I think I still need to see Coraline. This is my, like, big sin as, like, a fan of stop motion, as I've never actually seen Coraline. Um, yeah, I know. I deserve to go to hell now, I think, actually. Um, although, I know for a fact it's one of those movies that I would absolutely dig the vibe of, at the very least, is Coraline. So I just need to watch it at this point, really. Um, God, I'm trying to think of all the Leica movies I've seen, and the only one I can think of offhand is Paranorman. Um, I feel like I've seen at least one of the other Leica movies, but that's the only one I can remember offhand that I know I've seen is Paranorman. Um, which, to be fair, very fun movie. I think it's free on Tubi. Which one, Coraline? I need to sit down and watch it. Um, maybe that's what I'll do over the weekend, I suppose, is watch Coraline. God, I will never get over the fucking the final plot twist of Paranorman. If you know, you know. That shit made me laugh out loud the first time I saw it. Um, you know what movie I think is very underrated, if we're gonna stick to the world of stop motion, is Pirates Band of Misfits, or as it's known in the UK, Pirates in an Adventure with Scientists. Quite the good movie. Very underrated, I think. They've also done The Box Trolls, Kubo and the Two Strings, The Missing Link, and Wendell and Wild. Yeah, like I have. Um, and Wendell and Wild, specifically, if I'm not mistaken, was also directed by Henry Selick. And, like, I think Jordan Peele was involved in that one, if I'm not mistaken, too. It's another one I need to actually sit down and watch. Their new movie, Wildwood, looks so good. I know, I'm really excited for Wildwood. I got a trailer for that when I went to go see Digital Circus. Looks so good. The trailer blew me away. It looks really good. That being said, like, there was a point when I was watching the trailer where I was like, this is just the plot of Labyrinth. Was one of the most beautiful trailers I've ever seen. Yeah, no, it's really, really pretty. I'm really looking forward to that one. LMAO, and I'll watch it again, even if it is just the plot of Labyrinth. Well, to be fair, Labyrinth is a good movie too. So, but yeah, no, I was like, oh, it's an older sister who lost her baby brother to like magical creatures and is just trying to get him back. Where have I seen this before? There we go. Apparently, it's based on a book. I might need to read the Wildwood books. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Coraline was based on a book too. Um, I can't believe Hatsune Miku wrote Coraline. That's all I'm gonna say on that subject. Hmm. I need another $1,100 to be able to afford this. Yeah, and I can't believe she wrote Good Omens with Terry Pratchett. So talented. Yeah, man. I need another 1,100 to be able to afford this one, and then I can, and then I'll need another 2,500 after that to get this particular nozzle here. Oh, not gonna lie, I was crushed when I heard about Neil Gaiman. Yeah, tell me about it. I didn't want to believe it at first. I'll be fully honest. I was like, I really hope this isn't true. And then like, no, turns out it's true, all of it. Which sucks ass. I think at this point, the one author that I will actually truly be devastated about at this point, if anything bad comes out about him, is going to be Rick Riordan. If that guy turns out to be an asshole too, then I will truly have lost faith in humanity. But fortunately, so far, I've not heard a single bad word about the guy. So I'm hoping that that stays the case. Like I had to put my phone down and stare at the wall after the Neil Gaiman news. Oh yeah, 100%. This is the thing though, is I feel like with a lot of Neil Gaiman stuff, like especially adaptations of his work, you can sort of like separate the art from the artist in a way that you really can't do with J.K. Rowling, which I think is kind of interesting how that works out, huh? I think the thing there is like J.K. Rowling was so involved in a lot of like Harry Potter related stuff and like adaptations and everything that like her name is inextricably linked to the series versus someone like Neil Gaiman who like yeah, a lot of people know his name, but like more people know about the Coraline movie than they know about the Coraline book, you know, or like more people know about the Good Omens TV show than they know about Good Omens the book, you know. And I think that's sort of the main difference there. I know a lot of older fans really like the Sandman. That's another thing though, is like with with the Sandman, that's I think one of the few things that like it's sort of hard to separate Neil Gaiman from it because like a lot of people know the comic book more than they know any adaptations of it, you know? So that one's a little tough to justify, but like stuff like Good Omens and uh, Coraline and stuff like that, where more people know the adaptations than the source material, it's easier to be like, "Ah, I can still enjoy this without, you know, thinking too much about the guy who wrote it, you know? Which I think sucks that we even have to consider that at all. But, you know, whatever. Hydrate. All right, if you insist. I canceled my subscription to a Substack as soon as I could. And I don't blame you there. If I had been subscribed to it too, I would have done exactly the same thing. Uh, Fortunately, I was not. We're so close to the end. It's just the track at this point. And the columns, I guess, holding up the track. Holy shit, I looked at his Wikipedia agent. He was dropped by his agent. Insane. How bad do you have to be to, like, get dropped by your fucking agent? Gaiman's profile was quietly scrubbed from Casaroto, Ramsey, and Associates website, meaning he no longer appears on pages listing its film, TV, and theater clients. Damn. Also, completely unrelated to everything, but like this has been on my mind for a good chunk of while I've been doing this level. This roller coaster kind of sucks, right? Like this is a poorly designed roller coaster. I'm not saying it's a bad level for a video game about cleaning things. I'm saying, like, if this roller coaster existed in real life, this would suck ass. Like, even for kids, this sucks. Okay. We're gonna get this done. We're gonna get this done. I'm gonna try to get this done in the next 20-ish minutes. So, like, I'm gonna try to get it done before midnight. We'll see if that actually happens. Probably not, but I'm gonna try my best. There we go. There we go. Oh, God. Hey, that one's done. Dude, I think if anything bad came out about David Tennant, I would retire from the internet. I'm saying. Him and Michael Sheen. This is the thing, is, like, I do think that, like, celebrity worship is kind of stupid, and we shouldn't do it, but, like, there are, like, they are role models to an extent, and, I think they have the responsibility of, like, you know, if not being perfect people, at least keeping up appearances, you know? And yeah, there are some celebrities that I'm like, well, you have this platform to do good, and you're choosing not to. That really sucks, you know? I feel like the legacy that someone like J.K. Rowling's going to leave behind is going to be one of embarrassment. You know, versus someone like, at least as of now, David Tennant, who is going to leave behind this legacy of, oh, he was very much an advocate for, you know, trans rights and all of that. You know, he's a good guy, you know? Which is why I love Pedro Pascal. Yeah, exactly. Pedro Pascal and Diego Luna and Oscar Isaac. My Latinos in space. There we go. Pedro Pascal constantly supporting the trans community and his trans sister, of course, makes me happy. Yeah. He also just seems like a very chill guy, right? Like, and again, I don't know him personally. I don't want to make any, like, value judgments on him as a person, but, like, from everything that I've seen of him, he's just, like, a chill guy, you know? Like, and I say this unironically, he's the kind of person you would want to go grab a beer with, you know? I think if I ever get rich and famous, that's like the way I would want to be perceived, is just like I don't know, man. I'm just vibing. That's kind of my whole shtick. I just like the vibe. He'd protect my drink. Yeah, exactly. There we go. These, like, sort of cylindrical pieces right here are always kind of a pain in the ass because I can't just, like, get at them from one side and just be done with it. I have to go through both sides to be able to get it, and usually I have to do at least 3 passes on some of these because getting the angle is, like, sort of weird on them. There we go. Also, the horde of weird men hating on him because he's too touchy and makes women uncomfortable. Like, motherfucker, have you seen how women are with him? How all of his female co-stars are nice and friendly to him? The thing I always think of is like, or the thing I've been thinking of recently is, if you look at all of the posters for the Tron series, Tron 1982, you have Jeff Bridges and Cindy Morgan, like doing the classic like, oh, woman holding onto the man, sort of like 80s action movie pose, right? And then you have pretty much a direct reference to that poster in the one for Legacy, where it's, you know, Garrett Hedlund and Olivia Wilde doing that. And then you have the Tron Ares poster, which is just Jared Leto. It's just him. There's no female co-star holding on to him like the posters of yesteryear, nothing like that. And I can probably tell you why that is. And if you know anything about Jared Leto, you can probably guess why that is, to be quite honest. Because no woman wants to be near Jared Leto. Exactly. But that's like not at all the kind of person that Pedro Pascal is. Or at least from everything that I've seen, anyway. Meanwhile, if Pedro Pascal is near me, I'm climbing him like a koala consensually. Understandable, TBH. I'm just picturing you, like, climbing around on him like you're Grogu. Hey, man, if Grogu needs a step. I have said that's one of the many things I really liked about The Mandalorian is, like, it really is Grogu's Found Family, the TV show. Because you have uh, Mando, who's like his dad, right? And then you have reluctant stepmom Bo-Katan. Um, then you have rich Uncle Grief Karga, crazy wine aunt Pelimato. You know, like you have. It's the wonderful thing about that show, I think, is it really is just like, oh, here's like a little kid who went through trauma and is now finding found family. I'll be the mom that steps up. Also, men saying, well, Pedro just uses his anxiety to be near women. Maybe because women are more understanding of anxiety disorders and how they work and offer more support. Yeah, man. I don't know. That whole thing just rubbed me the wrong way. I think people are just jealous of Pedro Pascal being able to be near women, dude. I think that's just what that is. So I swear to God, if this doesn't get me a Steam achievement doing this. All right, I did actually get a Steam achievement for that. Okay, cool. What fucking one did I... Oh, this one over here. That makes sense. There we go. Okay. There we go. We did it. Oh my God. Look at that. Only took us 3.5 hours. Actually, really closer to about 3 hours, but you know. God damn. All right. Dude, I have words about the movie Materialist, the one with Pedro Dakota Johnson and Chris Evans. I haven't seen that one. I don't know anything about it. Stop by for a free ride whenever you'd like, if you can stand the G-force, that is. Yeah, man, that's definitely the most intense coaster I've ever been on. Definitely, for sure. Didn't go on a much more intense roller coaster like within the last week or anything. Okay. Let's see. I think the next one is going to be another long one, so we're probably just going to call it there. Yeah. Unless, actually, you know what I could do? Just for fun. Dog car, dog car, dog car, dog car. I think this will be fun to do real quick. Just as a sort of like wind down from the really long level we did. Oh shit. In the dog car job, have soap on every wash task at the same time. That's crazy. I didn't even realize that was an achievement. Out here accidentally getting Steam achievements. I can't believe this. So the entire plot is that Dakota Johnson's character is a single and successful matchmaker who reunited with her shitty ex, Chris Evans, but she meets Pedro's character, a successful, wealthy, kind businessman. Interesting. I love that Chris Evans has gotten back into, now that, like, I know he's coming back for Doomsday and everything, but now that, like, the MCU, like, has kind of wrapped up for him, I think it's really fun to see Chris Evans getting to play, like, shitty assholes again, because he's really good at that. Ad break is starting soon. So the entire movie has her hemming and hawing over the two and almost gets engaged to Pedro's character, who's again the perfect man, but she decides to go back to her unemployed broke ex. Damn, she ain't got good judgment. I can't believe this. She's got terrible taste in men. She's just like Padme Amidala. Was essentially the whole like that was essentially the whole message, and I was fuming. Fuck, dude. Yeah, no, that seems like a very frustrating movie to watch. Josiah and I were agape. It's the whole love is messy message, which isn't bad, but are you serious? Yeah, love is messy, but like, come on. The ex lives in a shitty apartment, can't hold a job, and is broke. Yeah, at that point, she's not making a wise decision, right? Like especially if he's an asshole, right? Like, come on. Truly, truly, finally a film character who has worse taste in men than Padme. Um, there it is. Lucy realizes that they are both pursuing the relationship because they check the boxes of what each is seeking in a partner, but are not actually in love. They amicably break up, but he was going to propose to her. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks, though. I get it's like if you're like not really in love, whatever, but like, bro. Welcome back, Enigma. You actually caught me right as I was about to start heading off for the night. I can't believe this. Hydrate. All right, one last hydrate for the road. All right. I am really quickly going to see if anybody else is live that we can go raid. Thanks for the Wilhelm. Yo-Yo's live with a bunch of friendos. They're all playing Chicory. Yo-Yo's live. Minty Mikusu is live. Dante's live. See, Yo-Yo's playing Chicory. Minty's playing Master Detective Archive? Question mark? Master Detective Archive's Rain Code. And then Dante's playing Resident Evil 4. Am I going nuts? Is that a Fortnite map? No, this is the map of Caldera County, which is where we live. Yeah. Anyway. I am going nuts. Yeah, just a little bit. I need sleep. That is completely fair. Well, on that note, we are gonna go. We are gonna go raid. I think we'll go raid Yo-Yo. See what happens over there. As far as future streams go, obviously I'm gonna try to play more PowerWash throughout the rest of the year. Try to actually finish this game and everything. Um, Hopefully, if everyone's available on Thursday, we're going to try to finish up the pacifist run of Undertale. Hopefully, fingers crossed on that one. Um, we've basically just got like one big thing left to do in the pacifist run, and then we should be good to finish the game up, and then start the genocide run next. And then, no matter how far we get into the genocide run, I'm not expecting to get past Undine. But whatever happens, happens. Not the murder hobo run. Yeah, well, Josiah quite literally paid for me to do it, so um, that will be the case. That will happen at some point. And then once we're done with that, we're gonna start playing Deltarune on stream. We're gonna play all the way through Deltarune up to and including Chapter 5, because that'll be out by the time that happens. Someone paid you to kill pixels? Yeah, that's true. It did happen. Um, that was part of the charity thing from back in December. So we're trying to make progress on all of the charity incentives. That's why I'm playing PowerWash tonight. That's why we're going to be trying to finish Pacifist Undertale, why we're going to be doing Genocide Undertale, and why we're going to be playing Deltarune. And then also, at some point, I got to do a Fortnite stream. As much as I don't want to, as much as everything has kind of collapsed around that game, I do have to do that at some point because people paid for it, and I am a vegetable of my word. So that's probably going to have to happen at some point fairly soon. I'm so happy to be able to clean the Falcon in Star Wars. I know, I'm really looking forward to it. Also, hi, Shiri. Also, we're about to go, Shiri. Uh, um, but yes, that's gonna happen. And then I've got a few other things that I gotta do. Yeah, sorry about that. Um, so sometime in October, I think is gonna be the security breach stuff, and then sometime in November, I'm planning to do Sonic Forces because that was also on the incentive list, and the game turns 9 years old in November, so that'll be fun. Um, you can hear the despair in my voice as I say that. But yeah, that's a lot of the future streams I have planned out right at the moment. We'll see how far we get into everything. But then tomorrow night, hopefully, fingers crossed yet again for this. I will be live, just not here on my own channel. If everything goes well and if everyone's available to do it, hopefully tomorrow we will be doing more Ace Attorney uh, with over at Real Deal Danger. So hopefully that's gonna happen. And if it doesn't, then I might end up going live myself, just doing something else. I can feel my skin withering away. Sonic Forces is 9 years old. Hell yeah. Sonic Forces is 9 years old. How does it feel? How do you like the linear progression of time? Oh, I made the observation earlier today. Um, as I was thinking about this, I think I mentioned this earlier in the stream, is like I was thinking about the different Persona games and how it's now been so long since Persona 5 originally came out that all of the characters in that game would be like Gen Z. There's a very real chance that all of the characters in the new one are going to be Gen Alpha, and I don't know how to feel about that. Um anyway, uh on that note, let's go radio yo. All right, raid Yoki Pop. I'm gonna make sure everything's all good to go for that. Yo-yo raid. Yeah, it looks like they're playing Chicory. Looks like she's got a bunch of friends over as well, so that's fun. Um, oh right, I should get the raid message out. Thank you for reminding me. There we go. It's you just pulled a turnip raid. That's the only raid message I have. I don't have a separate one for subscribers or anything. It's just that one. Um, oh my bad, lol. No, you're fine. You're fine. But yeah, go have fun over at Yo-Yo's. The vibes over there might be a little bit different than they are over here, so just respect that. And then that's really all I ask. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon, I suppose. Bye-bye!